All right, here we go. Nick Cannon, welcome back.
Man, we back once again.
Once again.
Get into some more trouble.
And you just got back into town.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you want to do another one? And you're like, yo, I'm free at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Straight off the plane from Dubai. Let's talk. There's a lot going on.
I know, right? well, first of all, congrats on The Masked Singer.
Thank you, man.
Damn, that's like a phenomenon right now.
Number one show on television.
The number one show on television.
Yeah, network television. We killing.
Wow. So when
they said I couldn't do it. They said I couldn't do it again.
I mean, after you left
America's
Got Talent,
yeah,
you're like, fuck that check.
Yeah. They
and look what
counted
happened.
Me out too. They thought a lot of people, especially within the industry, there was people close in my circle, people that were like, even like high up executives, man, you can't give up a job like that. It only comes around once in a lifetime. And we understand your principles. Man, standing firm on what I believe. Fuck them. And then even like people would like executives would say stuff like, that's not gonna come around again, or like watch, I'll show you. It ain't. Y'all just didn't employ me. You know what I mean? Like I know how to make these vehicles work. So to jump off that show and go to and be a producer on a show and create a whole new wave.
Oh.
And top their ratings.
So you're not just a host, you're an actual producer.
Yeah, I'm a producer on Masked Singer. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like that's like that. I wasn't a producer on America's Got Talent, so that's why I told people like I'm never afraid. I'm always bet on me. I'll walk away from that check and go create something.
Well, and this is something we've covered in the past. This is why it's so important to have a financial base in what you do. Because if you were like, okay, look, if I leave America's Got Talent, I can't pay my mortgage. They're gonna repo my car. My baby mama go take me to court and take my passport. Baby mamas. No, I gotta keep this money going because I'm paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
You would have stayed.
Yeah, I've been broke before. I ain't scared to go back. But even like all those responsibilities do take you take that stuff in your mind. But having the financial base, but even you got to think too though, that's a lot of money I walked away from. Legitimately, if I didn't hustle up and figure it out, like my lifestyle would have had to be a little different. I would have had to be a little bit more frugal, because if you used to 8 figures coming in and then they don't come in, it don't matter how much you got saved up. At some point, you're gonna be like, yo, I was used to living like this and this ain't moving. That's how a lot of these entertainers go broke so quick. Because you think like, man, you just had $100 million. Yeah, and I had $100 million worth of bills too. So when you think about, if we living up here because this is coming in, when this stopped coming in, my lifestyle didn't shift. And that's how you go broker quick than somebody who's on a monetary stipend or a budget that is fixed for their income. Yeah. The thing about having absorbing amount of money is that's not a fixed income. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like Andre 3000 was saying, it's like, if you, I still live in check to check. If you don't move your feet, then I don't eat. So we like neck to neck.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's, if you used to because it costs money to live this lifestyle. So I took all of that into consideration, but I was like, I stepped back for a minute. And it was funny because the year that I did walk away from AGT, everybody was like, tighten up the belts, lace up the bootstraps. And that year I ended up making probably 5 times the amount than I had made the previous year at AGT.
Wow.
And it was just because that mentality was like, I got to hustle up. And that was the year of the tour, and went even extra hard on Wild 'N Out, started getting the music stuff popping, started signing more people, started doing more deals. And I looked up and it was just like, oh, that's how you get it. And sometimes change evokes the hustle, you know what I mean? And I knew, I was like, I'm not gonna let what everybody wants to happen to me actually happen. And that's even when I went over there and did that deal with Fox. And I was like, let's figure this out. That's where the Masked Singer came out. I just was hustling over there, and that was a property that was, large overseas. And once it was presented to me, I was like, if if it's working over there, I know I put my sauce on it.
Oh, the Masked Singer was an overseas show
Yeah,
originally?
Masked Singer's a global success in like Korea and Thailand and a bunch of places over there.
Like an Asian thing. Okay, okay, I can see that now.
Yeah,
because they're big on the cartoon characters and
all
everything.
of that. So once I saw like if you look up online, like one year the Masked Singer had like the biggest YouTube video in Asia and all that stuff. So I was like, yeah, there's something here if we could finesse it and finagle it ourselves. And that's what a good producer does. That's what somebody, you believe in a project, you surround yourself with a dope team. Number one show on television.
That's what's up. And then you have the talk show coming, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we've been developing that for quite some time. And so some new things have come about to where, you know, as fun as late night is, it might expand into, you know, other day parts. I'm trying to do something that nobody's ever really done before. And that's just, there's an audience that's fiending for me in daytime as well as late night. So
a daytime talk show?
But I see I don't want to be defined by this man-made time, Vlad. Okay. It could be, you know, it's one of those things where in the syndicated world, when you allow the distributors or you allow the affiliates to choose what time you come on based off of what's best for their demographic in their space. So you make something for them and say, yo, you could put my joint on at 11 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock in the daytime. And there's not a lot of people that can live in both of those spaces comfortably. You know, and like you wouldn't watch Regis and Ryan and Kelly at 11 at night, and you probably wouldn't watch Stephen Colbert at 11 in the morning. You know what I mean? It's like, but there's some people that can live. Well, there's not some people, but I'm trying to be one of the first that can live in both spaces. And then even also and make the show at night different content than the one in the daytime, but still give you both shows. So you shoot a show and like, all right, this is the cut for the late night. This is the cut for the daytime. This is the daily cut that we're gonna put up online. So it's like really, I told you, man, I'm chasing Oprah in a big way. Like so, and we saw this all culminating to obviously like the stuff I do with the podcast, the radio stuff. Like it's really like a one-man media shop that we trying to put together. So that's even why it's kind of taking so much time, because it's really a big 2020 launch is what we trying to get it popping on.
Okay, so next year it's gonna launch.
Yeah, because I mean I got so much stuff I got to do, finish off this year. We got the tour starting back up. We got, you know, a few more seasons of Wildin' Out. I always keep telling people I can't be an old man wilding out. I only got so much time left. So, and they just keep ordering, you know, more and more episodes because it's, you know, number one show over there. So I'm gonna try to bang as many Wildin' Outs out before I start my next show. And then also I graduate in 2020. So the 2020 semester starts in a couple of months. So
from Howard.
Yeah. So I got a lot of schoolwork to do to finish this up. So just the rest of this year is really just preparing for everything at the top of next year, you know, music and stand up and all that stuff. So my next year and a half is already flushed out.
I saw this quote that said that everything that you're doing today is because 10 years ago people were planning for the future while you were living in the present.
Facts. That's a real quote.
Yeah. You know, in my own business, I think 10, 20, 30 years down the line, I actually think about what happens after I die with my content.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is why when I do certain things, when I interview certain people, it's like, okay, this may not be the hottest clip right now.
Yeah.
But 10, 20 years from now, this is going to be a very important person still.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's
a
great way to look at it.
I just interviewed Brian Michael Cox,
right,
who's not a household name.
Pete Cox is official.
This guy's got 9 Grammys and sold 100 million records behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's a very important music person.
Absolutely.
You see, and he did his only interview with us. So it's kind of like.
And then when somebody's looking him up, or they looking up the Jermaine Dupri's and Mariah's and Jagged Edge, they're like, yo, that dude was influential.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, you were just on the phone with Obama yesterday.
Yeah, man. The forever president, my president. Yeah, man, it was good to talk to President Obama, just catching up. The fact, you know what I mean? It's like all he really talked about, which was super cool, is like the stuff we did before he became president. And it was like, oh yeah, you always showed love when we was in the White House. Remember we was like, it was like, man, the fact that even like I wouldn't even think you would remember that stuff.
What were you doing before you became president?
I mean, just the stuff where the plan to become president and being a surrogate and every kind of like what's going on right now with people kind of putting their bid in to be president for 2020. I remember it was times like in 2007 and we were doing different rallies and speaking engagements and I going around in different schools getting people excited about this young man named Barack Obama that people didn't know that much about, but we thought he could actually spark some change. So it was good to catch up, man, and not kind of surface conversation, but to know that your relationship was still appreciated was dope.
Yeah, I mean Biden might run.
He should. I mean, me.
I think he's the only one with a real chance to beat Trump because most presidents do 2 terms.
Yeah.
Very, very rarely. Like in our lifetime. George H.W. Bush was the only one who lost the second time. That was because Ross Perot split the Republican vote.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Jimmy Carter also
didn't win.
Carter. He didn't win the second term. But in general, most presidents stick around for the second term. So you need a real candidate to beat Trump.
Biden could definitely do it.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's all. I mean, again, we choose personalities. We don't choose policies. So
true.
It really doesn't matter who's in there. That's the thing. I actually really like Joe Biden. So and if you even notice, man, like as much shit that I talk, I'm not even going after. Like I don't have the Trump words like everybody else has. Like I understand why. Like he's the figure. He's the master distractor. He's the one that's supposed to make you hate him and stuff like that. But I know it's powers beyond him that we need to hate. So it's an interesting, entertaining show, to watch the ignorance and the ridiculousness, but to see how he manipulates the media, man. Even just watching him maneuver on Twitter and the things that he tends to address, like he's sitting up at 3:00 in the morning talking about Saturday Night Live,
a rerun at that.
Right? It's like, yo, this is the president. Like you ain't got other shit to do. You up late at night watching SNL. Like that's I don't know. Like that to me, like it's not. If we fall for his bullshit, that's our fault, man. Like and that's just how I feel about government in general. You know how I've always spoke out about how voting is something that doesn't even really, pertain to us and what this system is. So whatever oppressor you pick to put in there, this 2-party system is bullshit in the first place.
Well, I mean, I've said this before. I personally think that Kim Kardashian is trying to plan a presidential.
I mean, the way she moving.
That's what I'm saying. With all the criminal reform, that's not an accident. Those are well-calculated moves.
I salute it, man. You know me. I speak my mind when it comes to anyone, but even specifically that if I felt there was some negativity going on, I would definitely speak on it. I can't say nothing negative about somebody who's trying to get people out of slavery.
Yeah.
And that's all prison is. And it seems like the work she's doing, why hate on it? You know what I mean?
No, I applaud her for it.
If it's for a political run at some point,
I think it is.
That's dope. Because to me, it just shows where we are in society, man. Like, and if that's y'all leader.
Well, I mean, listen, people are like, well, she can't be president because she has a sex tape. And I'm like, well, the first lady has nude pictures.
Yeah. You
can look them up right now.
Yeah. And it's like
first lady that you actually see nude.
Yeah, like we get I don't know. A blatant racist in the White House right now.
You had an artist, Ryan Bowers.
Yeah.
That some really fucked up shit happened to.
Super fucked up.
Let's talk about that for a second. So, from your point of view, based on what you understand, what happened?
From my understanding, obviously there's just mental health in general, has always been something that even is near to my life, and I've dealt with it. So this is crazy how it ended up happening. I created a group called the Psych Ward Druggies. I mean, there's even times. Like I remember I pitched this to you one time. You were like, "Yo, that's." And this was like during the Tech Nine era, and this was before like all of the crazy colored hair rappers and the face tats and the drugs. But I was like, there's something going on with these kids. Mm-hmm. And what I called it psych ward druggies, but I was talking like the music is the drug. And there's this mental health thing going on that all of these frustrated young kids that don't know how to utilize their voice and these frustrated artists. And so I was like, I'm gonna put a motley crew of kids together that's just crazy out of their mind. Kehlani was in that group.
Oh.
Brian Bowers was in that group. Like 3 or 4 other kids that I just signed, put them on tour with Tech Nine. They had their own show at South by Southwest, comic book, all this crazy stuff. Clearly, you get a bunch of wild kids together that's called the psych ward druggies. It's not going to last long. Obviously, we took Kehlani out the group, kind of got her focused on her own thing because she was so young at the time. She was the youngest in the group. And then the kid next to him was this kid, Ryan Bowers, that I ended up, me and DJ Premier put together his first project.
Really?
Yeah, I debuted him on, and this kid is dope. White boy, skateboarder, like, and this was before like Mac Miller, and this is before like all of those other kids that came after that, blew up. But he had the store on Fairfax. He was ready. He was in pocket, and then he started to have some mental health issues, and that's a touchy world because if the person doesn't acknowledge it, then they feel like everyone who's trying to help them becomes their enemy. And because one, they're like, "What are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with me." And then this downward spiral happens until, you can't admit someone to a facility or a psych ward or anything if either they didn't harm someone else, harm themselves, or offer up to go on their own. So when you got people trying, like friends saying he needs help and this and what we gonna do, and like it got so bad that he like went on Facebook ranting about like how I was a horrible person and this, but it wasn't him. You know what I mean? Like it was saying that people are trying to kill him and all of these things, and you're like, yo man, we just want you to get help. So we kind of put him on ice for a while, just hoping that he got help. And he felt like a lot of the world was against him because they're trying to put him in facilities and stifle his creativity. So it got so dangerous that he had a couple attempts on his life, like himself, like taking his own life.
Suicide attempts.
Yeah, and it got dark, man. It got really dark. A few times it just doing everything he could possibly do to try to kill himself. And this was as of recently, another one of those times, and he did everything from swallow razor blades.
Swallow razor blades.
Oh my God. Swallow razor blades. Jump off of bridges. Eat batteries. And so he couldn't figure it out. So one night in front of his pops, he actually. Yeah, man, it gets dark, but he actually attempted to cut his own throat. So when you think about that, like someone going that far, you know what I mean? Where is your brain? Where's your mind at? That's like you can't inflict pain on yourself intentionally. Like if I bite as hard as I wanted to bite right now, you can't break your skin. It's your body won't let it. Like you take a knife, like to actually like if you had a knife to stab yourself, you would stop. You would stop. You know what I mean? Like so imagine taking a knife and going that way. And he did it in front of his pops, and it was like out of fear, of like, yo, my son's gonna die, gonna bleed to death. He called 911 and let them know that, yo, this is someone who is, under psychiatric care, and let them know all of that. Cops show up, like guns drawn, like soon as they get to the door, like push pops out the way, you know what I mean? Like he's like, no, I didn't call you because I was in danger, you know what I mean? Like called you because my son's bleeding. Where's the ambulance? Where's the, there's a whole department of the police force that deals with psych cases. Where are these guys? And came in, guns drawn, and I guess, Bowers, from my understanding, you know what I mean? Like again, I'm pretty sure there's cases, and I don't want to. From my understanding, what happens that he was sitting down by his bedroom, might have still, I think it's like not even like it's like a pocket knife or something like that. And the police just start dumping.
Start shooting at him.
Yeah. Like, put down, like, and I think they shot numerous times from my understanding, he was hit in the chest, opened his chest all up, bullet went through his liver, still think he got one in his back, like, and like, for what? You know what I mean? And this is San Diego, you know what I mean? Like, and the kid is white. You know what I mean? That's the other crazy concept. I've been doing all of this stuff, for social justice and criminal justice reform and police brutality, but it's usually for young black men. Like, this is a white kid, and still, like, it just the police in itself, man. I can't subscribe to that system on any level, because I believe it all started from a slavery mentality and overseer oppressor type of monitoring that has gotten out of hand, and it's hit home. You know what I mean? One of my own that I would never think something like this would happen to, because of even the mental health issues. You know what I mean? And like, that's one of the main things that.
Yeah.
So not only is it a sad case for what's going on in our criminal justice system and in our police force, but it's also a sad case when somebody who's just crying out and doesn't really know how to deal with life, and that spiral of where it can take you, and it's really like, yo, how do you help someone like that? Somebody who says they don't want to be here.
Well, he actually survived, right?
Survived. Like, and they didn't think he was gonna make it through the night.
Yeah.
It was something like 150 pints of blood they had to give him, and like craziness. And it was just like, not to me. I told him, I was like, yo, if it's from this point on, like, you got a calling on your life, man. Like, and
wait, so he's talking now and everything?
We getting him there, man. He's definitely. I was like, yo, once you get all the way back, the world got to hear from you. The world got to hear your story, man. Like,
bring him on Vlad TV.
Yeah, oh no, absolutely. This is gonna be one of the first stops. But to me, even before all of this stuff happened, when I signed the kid when he was a teenager, like, this is one of the most talented young dudes I've ever met in my life. Like, professional skateboarder, like, freestyle probably better than anybody that I've met. Like, as a kid, can sing, can like swag crazy, like, and that mental health stuff could hit you. But so, like, I was like, he can speak on that. I was like, you're going to be an inspiration for so many people, man. Like, and just in, like, because he's kind of laughing and stuff. We try to joke with him now. And it's like, man, like, you tried to kill yourself every way possible. Like, 6 million ways to die. You chose all of them motherfuckers.
Well, I mean, when you said he swallowed razor blades, that's I'm like, okay, this is a whole. Because I had a really close friend of mine, Disco D. He hung himself.
Right.
In his mother's house, which
wow.
was really fucked up. But
right.
Hanging yourself and swallowing razor blades are two very separate
type
of things to do, man. I can't even imagine.
Yeah. So I mean, we're gonna get him here. We're gonna get him here, and he'll tell you the story himself, because that's the thing too. Because I'm going after the police force for this. You know what I mean? Like, just I always get up on my soapbox, and like you said, I was just with Stephon Clark's kids yesterday, and up there, trying to get some bills and policy, to get focused on. But this is a whole nother thing, because this is injustice that hit home, like, and even as all the other ones matter to me too, but this is like something I've witnessed firsthand, that it's just like, and you got police officers showing up to the hospital, like making eerie calls to, like, check to see if he's gonna die. Because then they know, like, somebody gonna have to pay for the way this was, put together. And like I said, that's what I said. I don't, even because me, we had this conversation about I don't really talk to police under any circumstances. So even talking now, I'm like, we gonna let it play out, and I obviously want to give him the opportunity to speak for himself, man, because there's probably certain things that he doesn't want to share that I'll let him do, and there's things that he probably, from his perspective, like, even when I talk to him, like, man, do you remember that? Or like, what was, so even as I tell this story, I was like, yo, that's my understanding. It could be it could be completely different because I wasn't there. But I do, the night it happened, we rushed down to Dago and it was crazy, man. I would never think like, because ultimately, I thought he was dead because the way the news was given to me. I was like, damn. I felt failure come over me, like, because I was like, man, this kid, the world was supposed to hear this kid, and I felt guilt, like I was like, damn, I wanted, he had so much talent, and then I'm like, damn, is this my fault? You know what I mean? Like, I signed the kid, I'm kind of promising a better life. It doesn't happen maybe at the speed, and he sees, one of his close friends, Kaylani, shining on top, and they looking at, he see me, I'm all like, he's been next to the lifestyle, he's had music videos, he's been with the top rappers, and then all of a sudden he on ice, and then if his mind state isn't clear at the moment, there's been time he was blaming me, you know what I mean? Like, as most artists do, they blame the label and all that, Luckily we had a closer relationship, but even in his state, he was like, yo, if he would have tried, or he felt he let me down. You know what I mean? That was the thing, and he was like, so now I'm worthless. Like, he gave me a shot, he spent all this money on me, got me a skateboarding store and all these deals, and I didn't shine. Maybe I'm not meant to be here. So he was going through a lot of that. And I was like, man, you good. We going to get to it when we get to it. Definitely wasn't my focus at the time. So I get this news, man, my heart dropped. I'm like, damn, I let him go. So then there's like, he's still here. So we like, yo, let's get down there. Yeah. It was like, we don't know how long he going to be here. And then like his mom was a gangster. His mom like she kept us all strong. You know what I mean? And like she's sitting there with her son. He cut open from here to here, and it's just like, she stays strong for everybody. And then to see where he is now and the constant growth, and like I remember I put that post up. I was like, man, the power of prayer is real. Good. If we get enough people praying together, enough aligned spirits, and in a union, you can push through, and that prayer is working up until this point, man.
Well, you had mentioned Stephon Clark.
Yeah.
And actually when I hit you last night, you were in Sacramento with his kids. And, I had to, we reported on the story, but I had to go back and kind of refresh my memory. So essentially with that story, I guess they had reported that someone was like smashing windows or something in the neighborhood. Some guy at a trailer home, this white guy, called the police.
That's usually who calls the police.
Right. He was living in a trailer home, and I guess his windows got smashed. So he said there was like, a black guy in the neighborhood smashing windows.
Right.
Police show up, and they find Stephon, who I guess tries to run.
Right.
And they shoot him
8 times. Right?
Yeah. Well, they shoot him in the back 7 times.
7 times.
Because they claimed he had, they released a video. They said he had a gun, and ended up being a cell phone. So in his own backyard, he got shot 7 times.
First of all, we need to get these police some better vision, because they from someone with all of this training that they can't tell the difference between a cell phone and a gun. Like, it's to me, even that point is like, that's just a lie at this point. And like there's this so-called we were going by the book. Well, we got to change the book.
They shot 20 times, hitting him 7 times.
That's target practice.
Yeah. The neighbor who called the police regrets calling 911. He wished he'd never done it. Basically, an innocent person got killed.
Innocent father got killed.
DeMarcus Cousins offered to pay for the funeral.
Right.
Matt Barnes started a scholarship.
Yeah, Matt was up there yesterday. Yeah.
Then the NBA did a PSA.
Right.
Right. And at the end, it said accountability, we are one. But the cops were not accountable, ultimately. And we just released a story that say that no charges are going to be filed against the cops who did it.
And it's like, our system is so fucked up. I heard there was some donations that happened like in the same time period, from the police department to it's just like they moving money around, and like that case in itself, man, it's heartbreaking, and ultimately, like, that's what I went there to support the kids. And then the same thing is Matt and a couple of other people, like, establishing a presence, and whether it's a foundation, whether it's a nonprofit, but just to know that like these 2 little boys will never know their dad, man. And that's where I was like, I don't want to get caught up in who's right and how it happened and the marching, like, because a lot of it can just be like, oh, it's another media moment, and contrary to popular belief, when it comes to something that's real, I don't want the media there at all.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I know is because you told me about it in a personal text.
Yeah,
like,
you know
what I mean? This was not on your Instagram or
Nah.
nothing else like that.
Nah, I just wanted to be there for the family.
Yeah,
and for
I
the
think it's
kids.
important for people to know that.
Yeah, but ultimately, because I get to that point, I'm one of the Black Lives Matter and marching and stuff, and when I'm out there, man, I'm like, a lot of people just out here to make noise. Like, nobody's really trying to evoke change. Nobody, I mean, or it's people that's so upset that they're outraged, but the process is like, what has really changed?
Well, this is somewhat of an unpopular opinion, but I know that you're real cool with Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Kaepernick settled the lawsuit with the NFL.
Yeah.
But it was an NDA type settlement, which to me was a big disappointment because
really?
I feel like,
I don't know, because I'm pretty close to it, Vlad, and because there's a few things.
Okay.
Because even when you say the settlement, it's not the settlement as it's an employee, like if I work for you
mm-hmm.
and you stop me from eating, from living, I have a legitimate, like, between me and you, like, you're stopping me from being able to provide for myself,
right,
and my loved ones.
And I agree that he should have sued.
Right. But in even a sense, because it's not even there, he still doesn't have a job. You know what I mean? He still wants to play football.
But he probably got a massive check from the NFL. And my thing is that
but it's not like a massive check, like, oh, more money than no, you stopped my money that I was supposed to have. In Kaepernick's situation, it's more like, no, this was mine and you took that from me. It wasn't even, I don't want more than...
I am not disagreeing with him suing the NFL.
Right. So what's the disappointment?
The disappointment is that he accepted a settlement with an NDA associated with it, saying that basically all the details of the case and the settlement he can't talk about. But it can't be discussed.
But those details, I feel like all that stuff is already out there.
No. We don't know how much he got. We don't know what they ultimately agreed to. We don't know anything.
Is that, I mean, because that's to me, because the fight is still going on.
I've dealt with lawsuits.
Right.
Like when it gets to the end, you could either do the NDA plea deal, or you could do we could talk about it plea deal. Like there are options on the table at every point. And my thing is the fact that he took one where he can't talk about it rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. I feel like
I can't rock with you on that just because.
Okay, all right. Like I said, it's an unpopular opinion. Like,
there's two things. One, he's not like a super vocal dude anyway. He could every interviewer from Oprah on down to
everyone want to talk to him. He didn't talk to anybody.
He didn't talk to nobody. So it wasn't like he was gonna talk anyway. Like, he wasn't gonna tell you how much money he got. He gonna tell you, you know what I mean? He that's just not his character. He's more solid than to get out there. He's like, yo, I don't care if y'all say I can't talk about because I just want to play football.
Okay.
And you guys are still stopping me from playing football. Like, this lawsuit was just about the disservice from an employee and an employer.
Yeah.
But what about how you're preventing me still? Like, I still don't have a job. So to me, the fight is still going. Like, until somebody put him on a team.
Well, it's going to be interesting also that if he actually does get on a team, if he's going to kneel again.
And he should have the right to do that. Like, to me, I always say, like, yo, if y'all gonna do the national anthem or something like that, I'll pull up afterwards. Like, because I know the controversy is gonna cause, but I after everything I fought for, everything I've spoken out against, if I'm sitting there with my hand over my heart, I look like the biggest fool and hypocrite in the world. So, and as much I try to be at all the events and the celebrity all-stars and the basketball, the Laker games, courtside, I was like, man, I'm gonna go to the bathroom when they start, like, because I know everybody else gonna be standing. I'm gonna be just like this, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I I can't do it, man. I really can't. And it's just because after all of the research that I did, I mean, one, standing firm with my guy Colin, but even, and then because I never want to just be a follower, so I went and studied Francis Scott Key and the national anthem and what it was about and the slavery connotations, what battle it was written for, and all of these things. I'm like, yo, this song is bullshit. Like when you really understand what the song is about, and the fact that, again, the media tried to spin it where Colin was all about police brutality, the killing of innocent black men without any repercussions. Right. This is what he was kneeling for.
Stephon Clark.
And then Stephon Clark. And then the media flips it and makes it about our men and women of service in the military, and the honor and the patriotism. The fuck? Listen, that song is not about that. like what? That may be what it's about for you and what it represents for you. But at what point did we all come together and say, this is what? Like I love being an American. I love living in this country. But you're not gonna get me to celebrate, and then I'm supposed to have the freedom of a peaceful protest. That man was peacefully protesting.
Yeah.
And punished severely for it. Like,
yeah.
This is what our military fights for. You know what I mean? To have this freedom of protest. Like Martin Luther King said, I just want America to stand firm on what they put on paper. Like you said, it's written. You said this. I just want you to stay like peaceful assembly, peaceful protest. That's all in y'all wrote that out. But now when I try to do that, now everyone hates me. I lose my job. I got to be exiled from society or from a certain aspect because they say I hate my country and all this. Like, It's ridiculous, man. So that I personally can't be a part of that.
Your boy R. Kelly.
How we gonna go over the national anthem? Well, the national anthem, R. Kelly.
He sings.
He sang it like DL said it the best. It's like, I love when DL, he came out and said, man, how can we still listen to R. Kelly's music the same way y'all can still listen to the national anthem? That's a good segue, bud.
Yep. Shout out to DL, another regular guest on the show.
Yeah.
One of my favorite people also.
That dude is brilliant.
Well, you actually came out and said that you now regret working with R. Kelly.
Now that I didn't know all that shit. Dead ass. And that's like, even when I was talking to Dave, he's like, hey, you knew. Like, no, I didn't know to the extent. And that's why I said, I blame myself and many others of turning a blind eye, because if I probably would have looked deeper, I'd have been like, yo, this is some fucked up shit. Like,
were there any girls in the studio when you guys were working together?
But not that I know. Like, this was the weird thing because, the way his studio was set up, it was quarantined different studio. Like, there was times where he'd be gone. I'm like, what the fuck is this dude at?
Okay.
But like, I'd be in a studio like this by myself for like 12 hours. And that's how I wrote Gigolo. Like, I wrote that record and he was one of them times, I don't know where the fuck he was. I was in Chicago. I'm like, man, I'm tired, like, just sitting around. And he used to say shit like, man, if people really want these hits, I'll make them sit around and wait to see how bad they want it. They gotta wait for me.
Really?
That
was his thing.
That was his, like, so I'm sitting in a studio like this, like, this motherfucker was really gonna make me sit around here and wait, because he was that on fire. He was writing hit after hit for everybody. So, and he played, it was this beat, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just write something to this beat. I don't care if he in there or not. And I'm jumping on a plane. I'm going back to New York. And it was funny because I had just wrote, like, at the time the label was trying to dumb me down and make me sound like, you know, a Nickelodeon rapper and all that shit. And I was like, man, I'm gonna just talk about the shit I really go through. I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna be cussing. I'm gonna be talking about bitches. I'm gonna be like I was just frustrated. Like, pimp bones in my body, rocked him. I was talking all that shit. You know, call me the scarecrow. I'm looking for some brain. Like, I was just saying all of like.
So you wrote all your own verses.
All my own verses and left.
But the hook he did.
Yeah, like I left the studio and then I get a call from the head of the label like, yo, this Gigolo record is amazing. What the fuck are you talking about? It ain't make no record called Gigolo. And then he sent it to me. I was like, yo, Rob must have heard my verses and went in there and killed the hook. And the rest is history. So but to say all of that, I never saw it. Like when you go to a studio, you don't see anybody else, but it's a big ass building. So I'm pretty sure, it was people around, but I never, but that's what I think. Like if I would have saw some little girls in the studio, I'd be like,
I'm out.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, I've interviewed, Public Announcement,
right.
Who worked with him very closely.
And that's why I think it's hard for people to understand because they thinking like, well, you guys are there. You never seen nothing. But if you know him, you're not going to see nothing. If you know who he is. Because he keeps everything under control. Everybody that's there, I don't care what capacity you work in, you're only going to do what he wants you to do. And you're only going to be involved in things that you need to be involved in.
So there was a lot of separation. We were always separated from everybody else because we'd be in the studio working on whatever it is that we were working on. And next 2 studios down, it could be somebody else working on an album. It could be, but all under his camp. But it wasn't, let me go over here and say hi to Changing Faces. Let me go over here and say hi to, no, it wasn't that. We go in there, do the job, and then we leave.
And he had bedrooms in the studio and kind of weird, like sectioned off areas, and
it goes back to what I said, that access to excess, where you can just do whatever you want and no one tells you no. Like even once I started to see, like I would say, like the one that broke my heart, man, when I saw the documentary, and I didn't want to watch it, but when I finally watched it and I saw the young lady who like on Mother's Day when the mom went to go get her daughter, and she wanted to go, like I was like that girl did not want to be there, like she wanted to escape. And
but there was a video that surfaced from that same girl who basically said that she told the backstory of that situation, and she was saying how her mother only started coming around when she stopped giving her money, and her mother said that she had cancer, which wasn't true, and
but I mean she's still with her mom to this day though, right? Yeah. Bottom line is,
I don't think you can go back to R. Kelly after. Yeah, I don't think R. Kelly's letting you back into the circle after that whole.
But the bottom line is, when you see that type of stuff, and I mean, I know you interviewed the young lady,
Lisa Van Allen.
Well, even if that's like.
Well, okay. To be fair, I interviewed Public Announcement,
right,
and they said that based on everything they've seen, because one of them was interviewed for Surviving R. Kelly,
right.
And it wasn't used because there wasn't any sort of stuff that they wanted, there
right.
wasn't
no
all
salacious
this
information.
There's no salacious information, so they ended up not even using his stuff. But when I asked them, do you feel that Surviving R. Kelly was accurate or very one-sided?
Good. I would say that it was pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. And I'm gonna say that in terms of most of the women that spoke, those survivors, they, I believe they were telling the truth.
And I mean, even the 2 ladies in the Gayle King interview, like they're 21 and been with him for however so, and you can tell like the way they carried themselves, like they were trying to be mature, like they was playing house. But I was like, yo, these are little girls as well. Like they reminded me of little girls trying to act grown. You know what I mean?
He even said, I don't look, so do you date women your own age? I don't look for close to my age. I look for legal.
I'm an older man that loves all the women.
They actually cut that to
Trinidad
James on gold everything. Light skin, dark skin. I'm an older man that love all the women. Like the internet is undefeated.
Yo, that whole interview will be chopped up and used for years, man.
Well, they actually released it like a Vlad TV interview.
Yeah, like people in pieces. They stole your whole
CBS
swag.
is taking your swag right now, Vlad. I'm like, yeah, it is what it is.
It was sad though, man, to see because again, I saw the confusion, the pain, the mental illness. Like even to me, he's like, yo, I need help. I need to talk to somebody. Like we've as fans, as the public, as the people close around him, we got to take responsibility for letting this man that was super talented operate in a way that was just inhumane at times. Like when the fact that, because I didn't see the tape when we were, when it was actually going on. But now, like, even in that documentary, the stuff that they show from the tape, like standing over a 14-year-old urinating on her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we thought that, we joked, Dave Chappelle was making jokes about that.
Yeah.
Like, as a father with a daughter now, like, there's nothing funny about a grown man urinating on a little girl. Like,
well, there's nothing funny about sexual relations of any sort.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Urination or otherwise,
right?
Like, you know what I mean?
But at the time, because it was all speculation and
that wasn't speculation.
Then why did we let it happen?
I saw that tape when it first came out.
Why did we let it happen?
Well, we didn't let it happen.
I mean, why didn't we hang him then like we hang him now?
It went to trial, right? It went to trial, and I interviewed Lisa Van Allen, who was in the trial.
Right.
She took the stand against R. Kelly. Now, the trial begins, and you actually are involved in the trial.
Right.
Okay, so what did they, what is your involvement in that trial?
Pretty much I just had to identify the people on the tape. I was able to identify them because I've had a threesome with the both of them. So that was pretty much my role.
She had a threesome with that little girl.
And she said she didn't know that
she didn't know. He said that it was like a neighbor.
Right.
And she found out afterwards during the trial. But she said something very interesting. I don't know if you saw this part or not. But the parents of that girl in the tape had to be brought into, the police station.
Right.
So the father had to sit there and watch that tape.
He lied under oath because he said it wasn't her. But while he was saying it wasn't her, he was crying. That's what prosecution told me.
Wow.
You're watching the tape of your daughter getting peed on and you're crying. And you're saying it's not her, but you're crying.
Keep in mind that the father played bass on R. Kelly's albums before the incident and after the incident. Continued to work with R. Kelly after the incident. And on the week of the trial, that whole family, the parents and the daughter, were on a overseas cruise. So they couldn't be pulled into the courtroom. The whole thing was a calculated move.
Is dad going to jail?
Yo, can you imagine?
How do you sleep at
doing night? Business with the man that molested and pissed on your daughter? Like money is just an evil fucking thing, man.
It ain't enough money in the world.
In the world.
Like, that rubs me the wrong way as we sit here. Like,
part of that Lisa Van Allen interview, what came up was also kind of interesting because, there was always the rumors I'd heard that R. Kelly married Aaliyah because he had gotten her pregnant.
Right.
And Lisa said that's what R. Kelly told her.
Right.
He had gotten her pregnant and felt that if they were married, he wouldn't get a statutory rape charge or whatever else. That's something that's been in the universe for a while.
Yeah.
But then she goes on to say...
He actually stayed at their home in Detroit, and her mother actually was sexually attracted to him as well. And he said when Aaliyah would go to sleep, that he would, this is what he said. He said that he would go in the living room and him and her would do sexual acts on the couch while Aaliyah was sleeping in the bedroom.
R. Kelly was having sex with Aaliyah and her mother at the same time? Not the exact same time, but
that's
the
what he
same
said.
Time frame?
That's what he says, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's too soap opera for me, man. I to me, it just, I think, I'm gonna go to this place. Probably one of the reasons that we all did turn a blind eye is because it sounds so far-fetched. Like, I didn't believe it. I said, like, even like what you just, that sounds hard to believe to me. Like, it just, but then it's like, well, if this happened, why didn't this happen? Like, if somebody told me that one of R. Kelly's band members let him pee on his daughter and continue to work, well, man, fuck out of here. That would never happen. And like, I can't.
But there you have it.
But even that's why I wrote that long ass essay, and kind of had, you know, a lot of revelations myself. I'm like, man, wait, I'm out here in the den of iniquity, and we just sitting around allowing sexual predators to do this, and we not saying nothing. Like, at least I'm guilty. You know what I mean? I'll stand up and be like, man, I can't be on my soapbox about all the other social injustices and then don't speak up for when black girls are being mistreated and, you know, women in general. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't. That's hypocrisy at its greatest. So,
well, let me put it like this, and this is really my theory when it comes to this, as someone who's interviewed people that are, you know, related to situations like this. You know, for example, like with Lisa Van Allen, at one point she stole one of the videotapes,
right,
and sold it back to him for $200,000.
Right.
You know, she claims it's not extortion, but I mean, when you take someone's property and sell it back to them,
didn't she say she didn't ask for the money? They offered that.
Exactly, because you legally have to say that, or else you're admitting to extortion, which is a felony. You know, but at the end of the day, if I steal those glasses you're wearing,
right,
and offer to sell them back to you after you've already bought them yourself,
right?
What do you call that? You
know?
About
that, like, even the fact she engaged in a sexual act with a minor.
She did.
What is she? Did she have to go?
Yeah.
She should have to go down as well.
The whole, and but this is what I want to say, like, you know, and I asked her, I said, you know, because at one point he bought her a new Mustang when she was like 17 or 18.
Like, didn't she like go back as?
Yeah.
And like
she had a baby, came back, he was supporting her, you know.
And this was after the whole.
Yeah, she was already 18, 19, 20. I think she was with him until she was like 23 or something.
That's wild.
And like, this man did a lot for you financially. Yes, you had to, you know, cater to sexual needs and so forth, but you go and take the stand. Well, number one, you get $100,000 you're displayed for the tape, and then you take the stand against him, and it's like, well, why, after he's done something, all this for you, why? Well, you know, and the answer was, you know, before they paid me, his manager or lawyer said that we should have killed you. You know, and once they threatened my life, then you know, at that point. But it's like, yeah, someone who steals from me, I want to kill him too. I mean, you know, I may not actually do it, but
you know,
but like, that's what I'm saying. Everyone's got their hands dirty.
That's
in this shit.
You actually, this is, and because I've been in the world, I've been around these people, and it goes back to my theory on access to excess, and the fact that we just allow these artists, celebrities, stars, whatever we want to call them, but he couldn't do this stuff by himself. As we see the fact that the man doesn't do much on his own. He's admitted to not knowing how to operate a computer. Who's booking these flights?
He said in that Gayle King incident, he said he went to a bank for the first time 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. And didn't know how to get out his money that he got in there because he didn't want to admit that he had nothing. Like, I got hundreds of thousands. I just don't know how to pull it out. But
the man can't read though.
But that's like, so who's booking the travel for these young girls? Right.
Yes, not him.
Who's threatening? Where are these bodyguards that were threatening these families and these young girls to allow this molestation to go on?
Everyone's hands are dirty, from his to the parents to the to the entourage to the girls to a certain degree also as they get older. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone.
I mean, not the children.
Not the children, but as the girls get older and
but they're already damaged.
Yeah.
Like that's when I look at those two girls sitting there that have been that were pawned off by their parents.
Yep.
For fame or stardom or whatever.
Yep.
Because it wasn't like, again, society turning a blind eye. Oh, he was innocent in the fucked up criminal justice system. So we're gonna just let our daughter go, and then all of a sudden now we want her back. Like,
yeah, it's all bullshit.
Yeah, like I see why those little girls are crying and angry. You put me in this position. You allowed this man to brainwash me.
Hey, man, listen, how many mothers say, girl, go get you a man with some money. When you marry,
I mean, that's like one of my favorite films.
Money.
What's Love Got to Do with it? With Ike and Tina. Moms was like, Ike came in with the check. She's like, girl, you better go off.
Right.
You see that automobile outside? Like,
right.
Like that. That ain't nothing new.
Then there's the Michael Jackson situation. Have you ever met Michael?
I've been in the room, like in areas, studios, like I never wanted to meet him because that was Superman to me. And I knew that if I met him and it disappointed me, it would fuck my whole shit up. So I purposely never took any of the invites to Neverland, never wanted to go.
Oh, you got invited to Neverland and turned it down?
Yeah. Like,
really?
I've been like, Mike was over there. Like, I'm like, nah, I'm not going. Like, Mike wants to meet you.
Oh, really? Mike wanted to meet you and you said no?
Yeah, it was cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have met Mike. Well,
I'm such a fan.
Right. And here's the thing.
I don't want to meet Superman.
Like teenagers who are watching this
Yeah.
aren't really going to understand this. But Michael Jackson was the most famous human being on earth.
On the planet.
Since Jesus Christ.
Yes.
You could not name me a more famous person between Jesus and Michael.
More people knew who Michael Jackson was than Jesus Christ.
Probably.
Michael was world, like people in India.
Yeah. As popular as the Pope is and how he's supposed to be the pipeline to God, more people worship Michael Jackson than the Pope.
People, like, Mike would walk and people would pass out.
Yeah.
Grown ass men.
Right. So you were talking about almost like a god on earth.
Right.
Like the level of fame and stardom of this man is incomprehensible even to a Nick Cannon.
Yeah. 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%. That's like I didn't want to meet the dude. Like, no, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Cause it was just like, all of the allegations and stuff, I was like, yo, if I meet this dude and it's a disappointment, that's gonna, I'm already tainted and hate this fucking industry already. Like, I'm gonna really be like, yo, Mike disappointed me. Cause I always say, I'd rather be fans of people. I don't want to be friends with people. Cause every time I've tried to be a friend of somebody that I'm a fan of, I get disappointed.
It goes left.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I was like, just let me keep Thriller. Let me keep Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, The Wiz. Let me keep that. I don't want to meet the man.
Well, did you see Leaving Neverland?
I didn't. I've seen clips, man. I couldn't watch it.
I watched it.
And
I watched it.
And what do you think?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say because some of the stuff, is so unbelievably weird with actual physical proof behind it. So, for example, one of the boys, his parents got a fax machine,
right?
And Michael would just fax like
love letters,
like almost love letters. I miss you, I love you. Like literally, like every day, these faxes from Michael Jackson are coming through,
right?
And he also said that.
And how old was the little boy?
He was like 7 at the time.
So he wasn't even like he was.
Yeah, and then like one of them said that him and Michael.
But he also used to do that to kids in hospitals.
Yeah,
we definitely know he wasn't touching no kids in the hospital.
No.
And I love you, but
at one point, one of the boys said that him and Michael had like a wedding ceremony with like rings.
I heard about the ring. Like they got the footage of them in the store.
Yeah, and they actually, he actually has the ring
has
still.
The ring.
And there's footage of him shopping
for the ring.
For the rings, claiming it was for a girl, but clearly it was for this little boy.
Mike.
It was, but they both admitted under oath that nothing ever happened.
Right. But that's the thing. But this is the bottom. This is how, and without me even seeing the documentary, because I feel like the documentaries are the new indictments. Like
100%.
Like
100%.
Even that's why I'm glad you done got some people in trouble. Like people, we just talk, and then people like,
oh yeah,
we love talking. But this is how, from my perception, there's something extremely wrong with a grown man sleeping in a bed with a child, an 8-year-old child, a child that's not theirs. That a family would leave their 8-year-old with a grown man. I don't care who he is.
They described the whole story where this family from Australia, Mike flew them out.
Yeah.
They stayed for like a week.
Right.
At Neverland with Mike, and then they went off to see the Grand Canyon and left the little boy with Michael for like a week. Personally, I think that the family needs to go to fucking prison.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
at one point, Michael even asked if he can keep one of the boys for a year.
Did they let him?
No, the mom was like, no, I could share my son with you, but you can't have him for a year. So they kind of.
But even Vlad, okay, but that's the thing. Again,
it's fucking ridiculous.
The enablers, who was like, yo, Mike, why are you in bed with this 8-year-old little boy? Regardless if you're you're the most famous person on the planet.
Yeah.
This could go bad. Even if you guys are just sitting there watching a movie, you shouldn't. This is wrong.
Well, and this is why I can't say what really happened, because and I said this in one of my tweets. I said I don't know what happened behind closed doors, but I do know that both of these young men have sued Michael Jackson's estate for hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right, and lost, right?
Lost, and they're now
they owe the estate money or they got to pay the lawyer fees or something like that, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's something to where by losing, and it was now you owe us money for taking us through this process.
Yeah, I don't know the exact laws, but now they're appealing.
Right.
And when
Oprah, this documentary will help their appeal.
Well, when Oprah asked one of the guys, well, why did you sue? Why did you sue? He goes, well, I just needed the state to respond to me, and the lawsuit was the only way I thought to do it. Well, why ask for $100 million? Well, I wasn't even really thinking about the money. I mean, the money was just a non-issue. And I'm like, okay, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's fucking bullshit right there. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're a fucking liar.
Right. That's
okay. And what's interesting to me is that none of these young boys who Michael associated with, who actually had money themselves, like a Macaulay Culkin or a Corey Feldman or whoever else, ever accused Michael of shit.
Right. It's always the one.
Always the ones, because he bought one of those families a fucking house.
Right. This is hard, man. Again, it goes back to even when it was R. Kelly with Michael Jackson. To the black community, man, these were our family members. These were people that meant so much to. They were at every event. That they were at the weddings. They were at the birthday parties. They were their music was so to say, imagine if somebody told you that your uncle or your dad or your brother molested someone in your family.
Yeah, we've had this conversation.
Yeah, that's
you and I just disagree on this. I'm not fucking with it.
So the love's gone?
Love's gone.
Okay, so this is why I go there. I'm in these prison systems every week with brothers that I got love for, genuine. Some of them dudes got bodies.
Yeah.
Some of these people, some of these, they're there for a reason. You know what I mean? Of how long they're there, what the things that have gone on, that's all up for debate. But there's some people that have committed some heinous crimes, and I was I still can't write this individual off. It's not my job to cancel this.
Yeah,
individual.
but being in a war and killing your enemy in a war, because if these guys in prison had, military uniforms on, they'd be fucking war heroes.
Right. Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
How many people, did Colin Powell overlook murdering?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Nah.
He's a fucking hero with all types of, emblems and trophies and shit like that.
Murdered on his watch.
These guys are killing,
each other
in a fucking war. I've interviewed these gangsters all day long on Vlad TV. This is a fucking war. You kill one of ours, we kill one of yours. It keeps going.
Yeah.
But you have children, man. You have this helpless child that doesn't know anything, and you start molesting this child who doesn't know anything. You're a fucking monster when it comes to that.
You're 100% right, but what do you find when the person that you love? All I'm saying is when you find out the person you love is a monster, you sharing this information with me even about Michael Jackson, I don't want to believe you. I want to say it's the media. I want to say fuck Oprah. I want to say all of these things.
People were mad at Oprah.
I'm mad at Oprah.
You're mad at Oprah.
Yes. Yeah. Because I think the young black boy who loved Michael Jackson wanted to be I don't want it to be true. I don't want, and I'm even, and that again, it goes back to damn, are we just turning a blind eye because we had so much love for his talent and his ability?
Well, you said, where's the Surviving Harvey Weinstein documentary?
Yeah.
And there are actually 2 of those coming.
No, but in that statement, the reason why I made that, and it like people like you can read into it however you want to make. I made that to really more to poke at the media, because the fact that I'm saying we don't keep the same energy. I still ain't seen I have not seen Harvey Weinstein's mugshot. Mm-hmm. Every time a rapper, or every time a black man gets arrested, where the college ladies mugshots, the Aunt Becky and them. Why I ain't seen they mugshots?
Okay, fair enough.
But if it's a black man, let's just show him he's a monster. Like, but every time, like Harvey Weinstein is a monster. Why I ain't seen his mugshot? And okay, yeah, they people was at they made 4 or 5 documentaries. Did you see them? No, I haven't seen them, but I googled them.
They're not out yet.
But even though there was one at Sundance. Are we gonna keep that same energy when that? Are we gonna do after interviews?
Well, I mean, look at Fire Festival. That guy got brutalized. You know?
Yeah, but again, and we all saw it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's like, to the fact that I'm just saying, keep that same energy. The media is not gonna let some prominent white man get hung out to dry. Even this monster, and I'm not justifying one greater than the other. I'm just saying, going back to me as that kid that wants to be optimistic about society, and these were my role models, from Bill Cosby, Michael Jackson, even R. Kelly to an extent. These are people that we saw as great, and now their legacy is forever tarnished because they are monsters and did some things that are horrible, but the media loves to throw that in our face.
I mean, this is, you and I have gotten in trouble in the past for
yes.
throwing some
names out there.
Names out there. But some facts that weren't exactly right at the time.
They were still horrible.
Right, it was still horrible. we're not going to say who it is, because I don't want any more letters from lawyers. Elvis Presley met Lisa Marie when she was 14 and he was 24.
And got permission from
the parents to maybe not have sex, but do some sort of sexual activities with a fucking 14-year-old.
Yeah.
The fuck?
And Barbara Walters asked her about it, and it was just like, it was what it was. Like, and then like Lisa Marie Presley was they pretty much were just like, yeah, he wanted my innocence. Like, she said that. He wanted to be able to train me and teach me. Like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, but again, and I've said this and ruffled quite a bit of feathers. If we gonna call it like y'all want to go all the way back to Elvis, it's people today that's still doing that. That's still walking around hollering at young girls. Before now it don't even have to be after the show no more. It's on Instagram. You know what I mean? And that's why that's a lot of the reasons why you don't see a lot of dudes in the industry speaking out, because they dirt balls too. They are that, and it's almost like it's like fishing in a kiddie pond. You know what I mean? They know they can manipulate these young girls, and they know dealing with a real woman is they're not gonna go for the bullshit. So, and even if you notice, like in R. Kelly's situation and many others, those women a lot of times are mentally, like, before and after, you can see how his goal was to manipulate their mindset, from the calling me daddy and all of that stuff, and like that's bizarre.
Yeah, no, I mean, when we interviewed Lisa Van Allen,
I would have rather had gone to another one, because I was sexually abused at the foster home. So.
Okay. So in the foster home, was there 2 parents or just one?
There were 2 in the beginning, and then the foster lady, her husband, died. So then it was only her.
Okay. So who was actually sexually abusing you?
It was a teenage boy that would come over to visit, one of the older teenage boys, and his brother. It was 2 of them, actually.
Oh, wow. So you were, I mean, because you went into a foster home at 5 years old.
No, I went at 1.
At 1. Okay, I'm sorry.
And I stayed till I was 6.
Until 6. So what ages was this happening?
I was about 4, because I can remember it. So I know I couldn't have been too much younger than that. I was about 4 years old. And anytime they would come over, yeah.
Okay.
But it wasn't intercourse, but it was making me perform sexual acts. I like use Vaseline and, with them. So
it was a fucked up situation.
Yeah,
no
man's
parents
gonna come save you and take care of you.
Which he did. He flew her out. He saved her and everything. And you know,
she gonna do whatever he says.
Yeah.
Fame and fortune, and it's sad, man. And like even like the Michael Jackson one, man, because again, do we have any hardcore evidence other than these documentaries?
No. And in fact, he beat his actual criminal case.
Right.
You know, I remember I interviewed Eddie Griffin, who went to his like court case with him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know, it's funny because Eddie Griffin would like make pedophile jokes around him.
So Michael's sitting on the bed. He's like, "You want something to drink?" I said, "Yeah, I'll take some champagne." You know, Coke. Like I just have some water. He's nervous, can't even talk right. So anyway, we got to bouncing ideas and shit. And my brother runs out the room. He like, "Nigga, I can't believe y'all motherfuckers just finished each other's sentences and shit." So Michael's like, "Sit on the bed." I'm like, "Nigga, that's how you got in trouble. Sit on the bed."
Oh, so you're making pedophile jokes.
Like motherfucker.
You know, he would make fun of his plastic surgery. So he must have been smoking crack. But Michael, you know, people said that Michael hated his blackness, but Michael knew he was black and surrounded himself with black people.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, even as weird as the complete vitiligo transformation was.
Allegedly.
But he said it. I mean,
his mom said it also, but
yeah, I mean, I believe him. Like I believe.
Well, the plastic surgery wasn't vitiligo.
That wasn't. That's the thing. So like, that's true. But I definitely think he had pride in his black community. Like, I think, you know, even when you hear him talking, he was surrounded by the FOI and like the people he would, from Dr. Sebi to the Nation. Like, he kept the people around him. Like, he kept the real ones around him. So
even that doctor who ultimately killed him was black.
Yeah, so like, I don't think it was about like trying to be whitewashed or be. I really don't. I think, you know, I think there was some other mental things going on. Like, I think there was some self-hatred, you know, like not wanting to look like his dad and the nose and
those kids aren't his. Let's just
none of them, not even the youngest. See, it's so weird.
Come on, bro. You have mixed kids.
Yeah.
You can look at your kids and say, okay.
But that's like the youngest one. I was like, he kind of like got the curve.
Nah, those are not his kids, man. Those are not his kids. Those are kids that do not have his DNA, which to me is crazy because it's like, yo.
And why wouldn't you want?
You're not passing down
that greatness.
The greatness of one of the, you know, the greatest, you know.
It's so bizarre,
entertainers
man.
of all time.
We have so many questions. And not to say all of that.
Well, I mean, so you know, allegedly, Paris Jackson tried to commit suicide recently.
But she denied it, right?
She denied it, but TMZ's still running with the story. Apparently, there's police reports around it.
Right.
TMZ ain't just gonna keep that shit
but
up.
Even so, okay, to that point again, and that's where I gotta get at the media just because it's just so unfair. You already know this young girl's going through the worst shit ever.
Yeah.
Like the man that you believe is your father. One of the most famous people in the world, people are now tearing down once again.
Mm-hmm.
Your mental is already torn. He's not here. He can't defend himself. They're saying all these horrible things. You don't know what. I'm sitting here torn. You know what I mean? And that's not my dad. You know what I mean? Like, to sit here and then you're gonna, like, why? Just let that young lady go get the help that she needs. Like, why does that have to be up front page on TMZ?
Yeah, I wouldn't have reported it if it was a breaking story that I had.
Yeah, like,
I would have just, you know, I bury certain stories from people where it's just like, you know, I'm just gonna let this person go.
Like, so what if she did, like, okay, now, like, she was trying to get help and all that stuff, and then she did, you know, like, that's laying on your heart that you were part of the process of this young lady killing herself. Like, everything that to me, and like, clearly they didn't want that information out there.
Yeah. You know, and also these kids are sort of just kind of just drifting, it seems. None of them really seem to have careers or purpose or anything of that sort. They're just, they have a very wealthy father, and, you know, they're just sort of, you know, I think once you throw some purpose into someone's life, you're not going to be trying to kill yourself and so forth. You know, you're not going to be.
That goes all the way back to me, like with the Ryan Bauer situation, man. It's like, I think knowing, like, even with his situation and feeling like no one understands you and you won't be able to, like, that weighed on me, you know what I mean? And like,
yeah, man, you gotta
suicide and depression and like that stuff is real, man. And I love the fact that we're talking about it a lot more now, but it seems like it's I've heard the statistics, especially for young people, have increased. And it's like,
yeah, I mean, now we're living in the social media age,
yeah,
where everything is, you know, you have the pressure. You know, when I see these like 2 or 3 year olds wearing Balenciagas and Gucci, and I'm like, what are y'all fucking doing? This is all for the gram.
Yeah.
How expensive is this? Like, how are y'all affording any of this shit? Like, cut it out. This kid wants to wear Payless shoes with like Paw Patrol on them. Like, he doesn't care about these shoes. This is all for the parents.
Right.
You know, trying to keep up an Instagram image is like the stupidest thing ever. This is why I don't really put myself out there like that.
Right,
like,
right.
I'm not gonna have y'all, oh, you wore those shoes last week. Yeah, I did. I'm gonna wear them tomorrow.
It's that self-validation, man.
Yeah.
We don't understand what true happiness and finding your oneness, so we want others to let us know, and it's pretty sad.
And it's also, I mean, you were famous before social media.
Right.
You know, people are getting, you know, fame is now a lot more accessible to the masses, and people are getting their first taste of it, and it's very addicting.
Yeah,
it is, especially if you don't have a good base.
Right.
You know, it's like having 100,000 followers is like kind of famous these days in a certain type of way. You were there before it, so you don't care about 1 million followers.
Right.
I don't care about that type of shit because I was a DJ before. I don't care. Like. But to a lot of people, it's like, oh shit, like I got to keep this up.
I'm validated.
People
love me.
You know, you had Dame Dash on your show.
Yeah.
It almost seemed like a Vlad TV type interview.
Yeah. But that's, I mean, to me, like the Cannons Club, I mean, we all biting your style, Vlad. But like more than anything is like, I really want to have conversations, educated conversations, where I feel like I can learn from these individuals. So whether it's one of my college professors, whether it's Dame Dash, whether it's KRS-One, whether it's, you know, empowered feminists, like I'm sitting there like, yo, teach me. And, you know, Dame had a lot of game. He's definitely a businessman, an entrepreneur, one of these people that have helped shape and shift hip hop culture in many different ways. I was all ears. And, you know, to me, I ask a lot of questions, man. Like, that's the one thing. I never say I have the answer. So we got into some interesting discourse and debates because I don't care who's sitting across from me. If I don't agree with it or if I have questions, I'm going to ask the question. And it got intense. But that's my man. You know. I love Dame.
Well, you brought up the whole Foxy Brown thing.
Did I? Yeah. I did. And the only reason why I brought that up because, again, we were talking about R. Kelly, and Dame was taking his stance like, I don't condone fuck shit and staying solid. And then, you know, at the time, people were talking about him being in the Fiesta video. And I was like, yo, let's not sit around and not act like there wasn't young girls that, you know, were in the hip hop community and stuff like that. And I just from a fan, I was like, my understanding, Foxy got signed at like 15, 16 years old. And the first time I had heard of her was on the Ain't No Nigga record this all speculation and rumors. We don't know if it's true, but I'm talking about as a fan outside looking in, and that's why I had Dame in front of me. I was like, how old was she when y'all was in the studio? Like, was anything going on? And if he would have just said no, I think he was like, oh, I see what you doing. Oh, you funny. Like he was playing it up, but I'm just like, there's probably 5-10 other artists and females that are around that were teenagers. That's why I said there's cats now that the reason why ain't nobody speaking up because everybody been condoning this bullshit in hip hop and film and television and sports. There's young teenage girls around grown ass fucking men all the time.
Yeah.
Quote me. Like I see and it has to stop.
I agree.
Like I don't care if you're a billionaire now. I don't care if you married now. Like if we gonna call out everybody we calling out, then everybody got to come to the table. If you fucked a 15-year-old, I don't care who you are, you gotta.
Well, remember Tiger was with Kylie when she was a teenager.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like if you If you fucking 15-year-olds and you a grown ass man, there's something fucking wrong with you.
Let's just say Kylie wasn't 15 years old, because I'm not trying to get any more lawyer letters here.
I don't know, but I'm just saying individuals. I didn't say anybody's name because these lawyers be calling me every day. But if you're a grown ass fucking man and you're fucking a 15-year-old, you're sick.
Right. Well, after the interview with Dame, 50 Cent, you know,
he commented as he does.
Said say you're trying to get Jay jammed up.
I just asked the question. Yeah. My thing, and I was just because Dame was sitting there acting like he was holier than thou, and you know, I was like, yo, if we gonna sit here and throw these stones in this glass house, like, we can't do that. Like, again, it's not our job to just start canceling motherfuckers, because we cancel everybody, everybody's canceled. That was the point I was making at that stage. And that was even before I had even knew all of the other sick shit that R. Kelly was doing. I was just asking a question, and we were talking about being solid. That was the whole thing. And I was like, well, if you wasn't fucking with him, I know you had to see some other shit. Where was your solid line? Where was you? All right, I'll roll with that, but I won't roll with that. That's all I was acting. This selective outrage that we all have that, oh, fuck him, but not fuck him. Or like, that's all I was saying. So then when Fifth commented, I was like, nigga, let's talk about it. Like in the comments, I was like, to me, solid recognize solid, suckers recognize suckers. Like that's kind of what I said back. Like if you fucking 15-year-old girls, that's some fuck shit. Like it shouldn't happen. And that's I ain't John Legend, but I'm just calling it how I see it. I'm here to give my opinion. Any grown ass man that's fucking with a little teenage girl is wrong.
Since last time that you and I spoke, some interesting stuff happened with me, Terry Crews, and D.L. Hughley.
Yeah.
So I had done an interview with D.L. Hughley like a year ago.
Yeah, it's an old interview.
An old interview, and where he basically said that, you know, D.L. said God gave Terry Crews muscles for a reason, to say no.
I don't understand. I think that now everybody's so into this notion that it happened to me too. Hey, motherfucker, God gave you muscles so you could say no and mean it.
What do you mean it happened to you too?
Like when he went, I can understand people being in certain situations because there's nothing you could do about it.
And then, you know, out of nowhere, Terry Crews brings up this interview and was like, you know, did a whole back and forth with DL. And he was like, oh, should I slap you, you know, for toxic masculinity too? And they kind of went back and forth. And then afterwards, I did an interview with TK Kirkland, who actually goes back with Terry Crews. Just like pays rent and took him on tour and stuff like that.
Right.
And we were just kind of talking, you know, in the interview, wondering if Terry Crews was secretly gay. Well, now with the whole, you know, because you mentioned the whole purse and high boots thing. And I don't have any secret information. I'm not making any judgments. But you knowing Terry Crews.
Yes.
Is there a chance that Terry just might be gay and hasn't come out the closet yet?
Let me tell you something. When I saw that today, right, it fucked with me for a split second because I had the same thought that you just had. I'm being honest. Mm-hmm. Because no matter, when you're from the street, and now Terry Crews from Flint. He's from Flint, Michigan. I don't know nobody else. Some of the coldest gangsters I know come out of motherfucking Flint, Michigan. So what the fuck he was trying to prove with the purse and the boots, I don't get it because it doesn't prove anything. And to the LGBTQ, to the Terry Crewses of the world, listen, we're not here to bash nobody. Some things are just misconstrued. And don't forget, we are entitled to our opinions also.
Nah.
And Terry Crews responded.
Right.
And he said that, you know, TK Kirkland and Vlad talk about how they're aroused by Terry Crews. He put up a picture of him like flexing his chest.
Right.
You know, it's a very interesting conversation about what many consider to be the first and only male Me Too member. Terry Crews. Do you know Terry, by the way?
I know Terry very well.
Very well.
Very well. And I support him. But this is the thing we got to go back to, because we got to see both sides of it. And this is where, again, it's the master distractors. We all know what we doing, man. We all play this game. This is entertainment.
Yeah, I think
our lives have become entertainment.
I think Terry Crews is a troll, personally.
Terry Crews has...
If you look at his Twitter, he's trolling people. He's arguing
Terry Crews
with people.
is a great entertainer.
Yes.
And he has made an amazing career for himself. There was an unfortunate situation that I think he did everything properly. With the Adam Bennett situation, who actually used to be my agent.
So you know Adam Bennett?
Yeah.
We got to get him in for an interview.
That's not happening.
Can you pull that off?
First of all, he's super rich, so
Don't matter.
He does not need to interview.
You're super rich, and I interview you.
But I fuck with you. You my man. Like, and I talk shit. Like this is homies talking shit.
So
to
we
each
can't
other.
get Adam Bennett in here.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
not. But
right.
I mean, he was my agent. He was Adam Sandler. I'm pretty sure that's how he met.
Right. Did he ever come on you?
Hell no.
Okay.
Like, and again, this sound like one of them crazy, freaky ass Hollywood parties that every time I'm gonna go home. My God, this shit ain't for me.
So, from what you know, is he gay?
No.
Adam Bennett's not gay.
Yo, when I heard it was Adam Bennett, I was like, fuck out of here.
Is he married?
Yeah. Like,
this is an interesting twist.
Yeah, like
I just assumed he was out of the closet gay man.
No.
Okay.
Like a regular dude. That's the other thing. Like, to me, if I thought how it would happen, I was like, all right, everybody drunk. Everybody like, hey! white dudes grab each other's nuts. That's what the fuck y'all do.
No. We do not.
Dicks on people's faces when they sleep. Like,
I think we talked about this before. I do.
White people do crazy shit. So I'm thinking, oh, it's like one of them frat boy pranks. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm thinking like, oh, big black, I'll grab your nuts, bro. Like, that's how I thought it. And he probably was like, yo, you accosted me. I get in my feeling, because I'm like, he's not some flamboyant I was like, yo, they was probably drunk. He's probably like, hey, bro, I bet you want to go grab that big fucking black guy's nuts. And he probably, like, as a prank, did it. That's how I thought it occurred. As we heard more, and Terry said, like, he really felt like it happened more than once and all shit.
Oh, it happened more than once.
I think that's where it wasn't this behavior.
That part,
this wasn't new. This wasn't new behavior. So I was like, yo. Because if he would have, big as Terry is, if he would have whooped his ass, they could have spun that story and Terry would be in jail right now.
Or he could have just pushed him off and kept it, kept it moving. Just like, and I've talked about this.
I think he handled it properly.
I've had gay guys come up
grab
to me.
your nuts.
Not grab my nuts, but like bite on my shoulder and weird shit.
And what you do?
I walked away. I'm like, man, I'm cool. That's fucking weird, and I'm cool, and I'm walking away.
I said, ain't nobody just gonna grab my nuts without getting punched. That's just me.
I interviewed like Michael Jai White.
Right.
Yeah. Who's and I asked him what he would do if a gay man walked up to you and grabbed your genitals. What would you do?
I think I'd probably hit him in the solar plexus really hard, so it wouldn't leave a big mark, but he would be down. I mean, but I'd wonder if the guy was drunk or something.
Probably, but he was also the head of William Morris Endeavor.
It doesn't matter.
Well, but this is what I'm saying. So if William Morris is the biggest talent agency in Hollywood.
One of them. Yeah.
So it wouldn't matter if the head of the biggest talent agency went and grabbed you.
I come from, you could have a fucking gun in your hand and I'll fuck you up if you did that.
Okay.
I just come from a different place. It doesn't matter. If I got to go, I got to go. No.
Doesn't matter.
No. Actually, yeah. I mean, the best chance that somebody would have, if they're 5'2" and 115 pounds, I might give you a break because I don't want to kill you.
Yeah, like you can't enter my house. This is my house. You come in here, I can now defend myself.
Well,
it's legal.
And here is my point though. Like, and people don't really want to talk about this, but I got to put it out there. We are men.
Right.
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 Like I'm 6'2".
Yes. You're a big guy.
I'm bigger than most men, right? I'm not huge like Terry
Like Terry.
Crews, but you know that if you came up to me
Right.
and did something that you know that
You
I
don't
may not like,
right.
somewhere in your mind you think Vlad might punch me in the face.
Right.
So I'm going to
Be cautious.
be cautious of this situation. And I'm
Right.
like half the size of Terry Crews.
Right.
In order for someone to do something to someone like Terry Crews, they either have to know that person's already okay with it, or they've heard stories that he's okay with it.
Or they gotta be intoxicated. Okay. Drunk white dudes do crazy shit. Like, they do. That's just how I saw it. Like, I could be 100% wrong. When I heard the story, I was like, yo, he was fucked up. He was on that good shit. And he walked up to Terry Crews and sexually molested him. And because probably, like you said, a powerful guy in Hollywood, and he was just like, oh man, what is this guy? You know, he probably felt emasculated in the sense like, I know I could have beat this dude's ass, but I would be kicked out of Hollywood or arrested. Like, it probably would have went bad for him. So why are we mad?
Yeah.
This is the thing. Can't be mad at the way Terry handled the situation. I think he stood up. I think it brought the movement even closer home. Because it was like, it's not just like men. This can happen to men too.
I don't think any man looks at Terry and says, yeah, I respect the way you handle that, Terry.
This man does. I respect the way Terry Crews
Okay, you're the only one. That's cool.
But on the other side, you got to look at it like this. Terry Crews cannot be upset with D.L. Hughley, me, or anybody else. The shit was funny. Like, you can't. We joke about everything.
But look, Terry said, he said, oh, should I beat your ass, DL? So you talking tough with the black comedian.
Right.
But you run into the police for the little white, Hollywood guy.
This is, but that's what.
Who are you being tough with right now?
That's what I'm saying. Like, again, that's where a little bit of it, like, oh man, like DL Hughley's job is to be funny.
He makes jokes about people.
To me, there's nothing.
You're a comedian.
I'm gonna joke about every fucking thing. There's nothing I'm gonna be like, now, timing, it's all like somebody died yesterday, you a bold motherfucker if you at the funeral telling jokes. Like, but I don't believe in, like, people make Hitler jokes.
Yeah.
People make slavery jokes.
Yeah.
So, Terry Crews, the fuck are you? A little chubby white man grabbed your nuts and you ain't do shit. That's funny. You a big ass motherfucker. We gonna joke about that. Right. You come on Wildin' Out, it's gonna be nut grabbing jokes for the whole episode. Like, because it happened in the public, we're talking about. It's not, we can joke about this. There's no hate involved in this, but that's how you get over that. Humor heals. Like, right, let's talk about it. So he can't, I don't agree with him jumping out there and badgering all of these other people who are just talking about it. Like, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, they made jokes about it too. Why you not getting crazy with them?
Right. Well, what DL thinks is that it was actually deflection, because a few hours before him bringing up this year-old interview,
he got into
he was defending Gina Rodriguez.
Oh, right.
Who had bashed black women.
Right.
After saying that black women were the only ones who supported him.
Do you know what it is about? And this is why I fuck
it's all deflection.
This is why I fuck with DL, and I fuck with. If you ready to play this game, play this fucking game.
Let's do it.
Like, I don't give a fuck about what people say in my comments. I don't give a fuck who try to fire me, because I talk shit.
Right.
I speak my mind. I speak my truth.
And I got on Twitter. I said, Terry, you got a problem with me? Come on my show. Let's talk about it man to man. I'm not scared of you.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Let's have the conversation.
Let's do it.
I think Terry would come on too. I think he would.
Yeah.
I think he. I can't. I may not can get Adam Bennett in here, but I can.
Terry has not done any interview that was not just praising him. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Terry a real dude though. He a real.
Not saying he's not. I'm just saying.
He a real cat. Like, he's not scared of conversation.
Listen,
he gonna
call up Terry after this interview. Tell him to come on Vlad TV. You could be there too if you want. We'll
Ain't nobody gonna grab your nuts.
Nobody gonna grab my nuts. And even if he does, I'm not gonna cry about it. But That's the whole thing,
I think
man.
Terry will have a conversation because he's one of those people that will get on Twitter and talk, whether it's defending, like, and it's a lot. I see he be having to apologize. That's to me. I don't apologize.
He spent 2 days retweeting people saying that he's not gay. Like, you know,
I don't think he's gay though.
I don't know. He's
amazing wife and like, I mean,
I don't know,
again, like people sexual. I don't give a fuck. Like,
I don't give a fuck either. If you're gay, say you're gay.
But are you or don't?
Or don't. Whatever. I don't give a fuck.
Who you fuck. Like that doesn't, again, like it's some gay, I grew up with some gay dudes in the hood that'll whoop your ass if you say the wrong shit to them. I was some straight dudes that's punks. Like,
yeah.
It ain't, I believe if we was all in here, Terry Crews in here, he gonna beat all our ass.
Probably.
If he wanted to, Terry could fuck all of us up at once. So I don't think it has anything that he's not trying to prove anything. Yeah. But I think we're playing this media game, this social media for the likes. We do these interviews, these conversations. Mm-hmm. I know every time we sit down and talk, people talk shit, but I'm not one of them people like, I'm not fucking apologizing for a conversation me and my friend are having.
Right.
Because this is my truth. This is your truth.
Yep.
There's things that we agree on. There's things we don't agree on. That's just how I move. I feel like we live in a society where we shouldn't have to apologize for our truths and how we really feel. Now, if I hurt someone, okay, let's figure that out. But that's never my intent. I'm never sitting here trying to damage anyone. I'm sitting here talking to my friend, and sometimes we agree about shit, sometimes we don't, and we keep it pushing.
Well, you actually did damage quite a number of people with our last interview.
What happened?
You know, when you said that any woman that's with you doesn't have to work.
If you with me, you don't have to work. And that's not even on some like baby mama stuff. If you with me, you don't gotta work.
Your DMs are about to be so crazy right now. You have no idea.
I specialize in the glow up.
No man admits to this. You are the first successful man to ever say this.
Yo, dog, for real. Yo. I want to be a provider. That's what I feel like I was put on this planet for. I love taking care of women.
Okay.
Like just in general.
You know, actually, I sent you the link to this comedian named Josh Adams.
Yeah.
I'm saying you making it hard for the dudes that work at Best Buy. You know,
I'm the provider, man. I'm sorry. It's in my DNA.
A lot of dudes. I mean, what was the backlash from that?
You can't.
I'm sure women loved it.
Yeah, women loved it, and they said, but you can't argue that as I believe men are put here to be providers. Women are nurturers. Together we're equals, and that's what we're here to do. Protectors and providers.
I agree.
So that's what I want to do for as many people that I could possibly do it for. It's like I want to be able to provide for my community. I want to be able, like, to me, that's the epitome of being a man.
I agree. The only problem though right now that's happening is that you kind of have this female movement. Right. Of we need to be treated equally and so forth.
100%.
But if you ask these same women, do you want men to stop paying rent, paying for dinner, opening the door, and doing a bunch of things that are historically, in terms of chivalry, most of them would say, no, I still want that.
But I don't see the contrast. I don't see the issue.
You can't be totally equal if there are unequal aspects of a relationship.
You got to define what equal is. When you talk about yin and yang, just like I said, that's why I said.
And I personally agree with women being treated special.
But there's certain things that a woman can do that I'll never be able to do.
Give birth.
Simple as that. Like, women aren't put on this planet to do what men do. They're put on this planet to do what men can't do.
Facts.
Simple as that. And that's where the equality happens. It's called being equally yoked. So it's like the idea of like, I'm the protector and the provider. I'm the hunter and the gatherer. You're the nurturer. You're like, I can't breastfeed. I got nipples. I don't know why the fuck I got nipples. Like, cause ain't shit.
Point, huh? Yeah. What do we do with our nipples?
Ain't shit coming out of these motherfuckers. Like, I don't know what they're for, but I know what a woman's nipples are for.
Right, for feeding.
For feeding.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do that. So therefore, that's a level that I need her, she needs me. You know what I mean? Like, it's that's where the equality lies. But if we want to get into like the workforce and pay, I think women should get paid more. If anything, I go to the idea of like women are superior beings. They can do way more shit that we can't do. There's certain, I don't care. We're never going to be able to give birth. It's not gonna happen. Like they could put a child in us or what all some weird shit, but we don't have ovaries. We don't have fallopian tubes.
Yeah, not yet. But,
but I'm just
1,000 years down the line, when you and I are gone,
you think we're gonna have both sexual organs and men are just
like.
But then you're a hermaphrodite.
You and I grew up with real asses.
Yeah.
Think
Bruce
about
Jenner was on the Wheaties box as an Olympic male. Now he's a woman.
You know,
yeah,
you know, in vitro.
Yeah,
was science fiction.
Now designer babies are real.
You could decide the sex of your child.
You're right.
You could create twins. You could do all types of shit that's just absolute science fiction 100 years ago.
Let me rephrase it then. We are not naturally able to give birth.
Yeah.
Like as men, and that's why women should be exalted, women should be praised, and they should that shouldn't even be a question.
Right.
Like the fact that women are second-class citizens in this day and age. That's ridiculous.
I don't consider women second-hand citizens. In fact, you know, my
I know we don't, but I'm saying society does.
When you look at my staff, men and women get treated completely the same. You know what I'm saying? Like I do not look at the sex of the person who I hired.
Why haven't we had a woman leader in America?
I think you just haven't had the right candidate come up yet. That's what I think. Just like, let me tell you something. You know damn well, growing up, you and I did not think there was going to be a black president in our lifetime.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is not us being racist.
Yeah.
It's just like a black president. Yeah, okay.
But I'm only making that point to say like
until Obama came around and it was like,
and they ain't gonna let it happen again either. I guarantee you that one.
I don't know.
That was a fluke, and a lot of people say he wasn't full black, but I mean like it's ideas.
He was black.
He's definitely black. But I'm just saying like the idea like they won't let that happen again. But all I'm saying is black people are looked at as second-class citizens, and so are women because the first-class citizen is the male Anglo-Saxon or Anglo-Saxon male in our society. And everyone else is looked at as beneath them, and that's just how that's
some bullshit.
Line. It's just how
it's some bullshit.
Yeah.
But,
and I believe women should have all the equality.
I think that you haven't, you know, Hillary Clinton, even like Democrats weren't really feeling her
because she was a woman.
No, I don't think so because she was Hillary Clinton. And she called, you know, blacks super predators.
Yeah,
and,
that was stupid.
You know, her husband, you know, locked up more black people than damn near any other president.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of the bullshit. And she just was not the greatest of candidates. I don't know if, you know,
but I think
Kamala Harris, I don't know if people are really fucking with her like that or not. But I don't know. If you have a female Barack Obama, that person will probably get elected. Someone with that charisma.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. Saying? I'm just even saying, even out of politics, like, just how many the amount of women CEOs, the amount of like it's disproportionate, and
it is.
It's sad the way that we view women in this society. We don't exalt them as the queens that they should be.
You know, TK Kirkland commented on your interview.
T to the motherfucking K.
T to the motherfucking K.
He's chilled out a little bit though. Like I came up under TK and him in the clubs and where his comedy used to be. He was literally pimping on stage. Like that was his. I tells a bitch when one time like that was his whole thing.
Well, like, no, he said that.
That's how you enable a person. I've been there once. I did that with my daughter's mother. And she didn't have to work for 5 years. It was the worst mistake of my motherfucking life. Now, everybody has their own lane. Everybody has their journey. Obviously, he didn't have the same experiences that I've had. I really thought I was doing something because in life, you can't wait to start really getting some real money and take care of the woman you think that you might love. So in my situation, success met ratchetness.
And then this is to that point, and I agree with TK.
You know, he basically kind of broke it down. It's like, look, I don't want to see you all day. I need you to go to work.
I
need you. You know.
This is where
I need you to go do something.
This is the other side of that conversation, Vlad. When I say I want to be a provider, that doesn't mean I want you to be lazy. I want to be able to rock with you on your dreams. I want to help you accomplish all your goals.
Right.
What do you want? You want a lingerie line? You want a children's hospital charity? You want to be a poet? You want a yoga facility? How can we do that together? Let me show you how to rock out a business plan. Let me help you put this portfolio together. You want to get into real estate? I have the ability to help provide for that. I don't want to just fund all your shopping sprees and vacations. I ain't got free money for you and your girls just to go and party because I got a bag. Like, no, like the type of women I'm attracted to are leaders and goal setters. And these are the type of women these are the type of people I want to be around. From the artists that I sign, from the nonprofits I'm a part of, I like to donate time, energy, and funds to people who want to make themselves better. So that TK's issue, I've been there before. And that's actually some of the most heartbreaking shit in the world. When you really feel somebody is just leeching off you and feel like you thought this person was rocking with you and you want to provide for this person. There's been many times where I've been in situations where the woman is car, crib, bag, whatever she wants. And then she's unappreciative. And then you watch her almost expect the shit that like, oh, I didn't get this month. Oh, this the car. Why am I driving a 2012? It's 2015, bitch. like that's
you were taking the bus before,
right? You ain't had no car,
right?
But it's like I've had these conversations with people, and it's like I could get you to 2016, 17, 18. But why? You're like you're not even showing initiative to be great. I'm giving you every tool to be great, and you just comfortable spinning my bag. I can't. Those type of women, I can't deal with. Those type of people.
We've all been there. At the end of the day, you could, it's the horse to water principle.
Right.
You know what I mean? You could.
And I want to teach as many men to fish as I possibly can.
You could give a person, but since we're talking about women, you could give them. Okay, yeah, you want to do fashion? Okay, sure, I'll pay for your whole, your whole first, season collection.
Yeah, and get you a storefront, whatever.
Get you a storefront, do this. Oh, you want to do this? I'll pay for this. And they end up just going through the motions and not really doing shit. It's kind of.
And that's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
because I want you to win. I want you to be great. I want to be the power couple. I want to see you shine.
Yeah.
And then when they don't.
Usually these women have to already be on that grind before they meet you. They're not going to be a bum bitch, meet you, and suddenly become like a fucking entrepreneur. It just doesn't happen.
I disagree. Yeah? Think about, okay, well, it depends what you mean by that. Because we all know some strippers who were looked down on for what they do from their family, their friends, who are now business moguls.
Right, but is it the stripper who like comes in 7 nights a week and is hustling her ass off, or is it the one that just comes in and makes barely enough to pay her rent and then basically sits at home and watches
what you just
Netflix
said,
the whole rest of the time?
What is the hustle in the strip club? You're pretty much almost fucking to each his own.
Hey man, hoes gotta eat too.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's why they made hoe cakes.
Yeah.
Listen, like I'm saying, you have hustlers and you have people who just. Man, I've known women who are just like, yo, like, their TV is on like a box.
They ain't got
a mattress on the ground. You know what I'm talking about. You go to their house.
I've been to many of those apartments.
How do you live like this? Don't you want just a little better than this?
Right.
A lot of people are comfortable.
But they gram be popping.
Oh, the Instagram. Oh yeah.
But the TV's on a box.
TV's on a box.
How you got a flat screen on a box?
Flat screen on a box.
you ain't getting nobody to hang this shit up.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, but they got some red bottoms.
Yeah.
We've all know the girl, we know the girl who lives in the projects we got that Gucci belt.
Yeah.
What the fuck you doing with that Gucci belt? Like.
But that's because that's success. that will get me the likes quickly.
Yeah.
The true hard work, the true effort, that's it's not even, again, we being preconditioned to believe I'd rather show off my success opposed to actually go within and really understand it from the inside. So that's principles, man. That's tapping back in with the ancestors, man. Like we lost that culture. We lost that idea of like, what is it? And that's, again, as a father, you like, man, I just want to teach my daughter that she doesn't need a man for anything. Now, if she can eventually become with somebody who says he wants to provide for her, I hope she finds that, but she don't need that. She will never need anything from a man, just based off of who I am to her. And that's not saying because I will do for her. I'm going to raise her and teach her that she can provide for herself. So then when she wants to make the decision to find a mate, that she can do it from a sense where, like, I don't need you for nothing except for your unconditional love. And that's ultimately what every relationship should be. And like I said, I've been on the other side of that, where I think that's why I'll never be in a relationship again, because I'm like, yo, I know people look, when they see me, they have a preconceived notion of like, oh, I'm going to get more out of this. Since my ex, I have never met, my ex-wife, I've never met somebody that I feel like can enrich my life to make me a better person.
A woman.
I believe anybody, but like she was probably the last person that I felt like, ooh, she elevated me in a way that I wasn't searching for. I didn't go to a book to find. I was like, that type of love, that type of relationship and union was some shit. Was like, oh shit, I leveled up. You know what I mean? Everybody said it. Like, it was like, yo, you was out of your league.
I mean, you're probably not going to find that with a Wild 'N Out girl.
Definitely not going to find that with
no offense to the Wild 'N Out girls.
But ain't none of y'all Mariah.
Right. You're not going to find that. You have to
But
find...
even like, who else? Oprah? Like...
Who else?
Who else is out there that could level me up? Once I'm at Mariah. Where else do I go?
Let's take a look. What are the most successful women out there?
I'll go find me some like Arabian
These women are pretty old.
I'm not even. Hey man, I'm all about the cougars. I love a refined woman.
What about like a Rihanna?
I feel like Rihanna's amazing, like, but I can't grow from where I'm at. Like, what's Rihanna gonna teach me? Like. And that's the only reason why I say that, because Rihanna's a lot younger than me. I mean, I've met many Rihannas. You know what I mean? I've known Rihanna since she was a child.
I mean, she's like 30 now, right?
Yeah, but I've known Rihanna since she was a teenager.
Yeah, but she's 30 now.
And
the person you met back then is not the person she is now.
I know her. Like I love brilliant, amazing woman. Like, but she's not gonna elevate me to a level where I'm like, dang, she took me to the next level. Like like, even like I got money, she got money. Like she's successful, I'm successful.
It's a very interesting question. Like, and I'm trying to look up. You know,
she's an entertainer. I'm an entertainer.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, because John Lennon and Yoko Ono had a very interesting relationship,
right?
Where you could tell that he really leaned on her,
right?
And really learned a lot from her.
Absolutely.
In the process.
Yeah. And even like, that's why I find myself in the world of academia. Like, not like I'm out there looking for, professors to date or anything, but it's just still like, there's some way more intelligent women than me and way more refined and in tuned and aligned, all of those amazing things. But that's still the path that I'm on with my own oneness. That's what it goes like, they're not helping that. You know what I mean? Because they on their own path.
Right.
I mean, at this point, like, Rihanna's trying to be Rihanna. She ain't looking to build into me. Like, she going on her $1 billion hustle with her cosmetics and music, and as she should. And I sit back and salute that. But me and Rihanna can't come together and create this union of like that's when you look at a J&B, like, that's really beautiful. Because they look like they complement each other in such
Jay-Z
a way.
And Beyonce.
Jay elevated because of B, and B elevated because of Jay.
Swizz Beatz and Alicia Keys.
Beautiful.
And another one.
Yeah, but where I'm at in my life, there's no one that's gonna come in my life and be like, oh, there it is. He done hit it out the box now. Like, I was with Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Like, where do you go after that? Like, I'm good. I did it. It was great. Now I'm focusing on me. I want to be the best father I can be. I want to be the best leader in the community. I want to be able to provide for others opportunities. And this is gonna be my life for the rest of my life. I'm gonna be on some Buddhist monk shit.
It's a very interesting analogy there.
If you find me a woman, if there's a woman out there that can elevate me, DM me. Like,
I'm gonna look, because this is actually, I mean, it's an interesting, like, you know, I'm going through the internet right now. I'm having some problems trying to meet the criteria that you're setting up.
Yeah.
I thought Rihanna was one, because, you know, not only is she really accomplished in music,
right,
super accomplished, but now the whole Fenty,
we got a lot of stuff in
music line, like, you know what I mean?
But I've done all of that. Like, I'm not impressed by that. Like, I got the bag. Like, me and Rihanna, we can buy gifts for each other all day long. Right. You know what I mean? Like, and we not gonna be moved by that. We done. I've been to the Met balls with the best of them. I've been to the fashion shows. I've done the photo shoots. Like, but
yeah, I can't really see you with Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, like, what are we gonna?
Can't see that.
Like, now I'd love to hang out. I'd knock it down. Like, I bet you it'd be a great sexual experience, but sexual experiences, I've had them.
Yeah.
I've had the threesomes, the foursomes, I've done it.
Right.
It's been amazing.
Yep.
How is that building me up as an individual? How is that allowing me to tap into my sovereignty, into my samadhi existence? You know what I mean? Like,
before Tekashi 6ix9ine got locked up,
right,
he did one of your concerts.
He did Wildin' Out. He did the show down in
the
Jago.
tour.
That was his last show.
His last show.
Right.
Since last time, I had his baby mother.
Yeah.
And I had her read the actual guilty statement.
How did you get people to do this shit? They just want to talk.
The defendant's obligation under this agreement are as follows: that he shall truthfully and completely disclose all information of the activities of himself and others to the U.S. Attorney's Office, that he will cooperate fully with the New York City Police Department, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, Homeland Security Investigations, and other law enforcement agencies. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
That he shall attend all meetings of the office, that he shall provide to the office upon request any document that shall truthfully testify before the grand jury or at any trial, that he shall bring the office's attention all crimes which he has committed, and that he shall commit no further crimes.
Okay, and read the next paragraph, and that'll be it.
If the defendant does this, the office, and this is detailed on pages 4 and 5 of the agreement, agrees not to prosecute the defendant for the crimes set forth in counts 1 through 9 of superseding information, as well as additional crimes that the defendant has told the government about.
That's how I be like, how did Vlad get the, like, you get me to say shit? That's some genius shit, man. You on your Howard Stern shit.
It's what I do for a living. This is what I do for a living. I've been doing it for like almost 15 years. This is what I do.
This is my thing. Like, the thing that's interesting about Tekashi 6ix9ine, baby mom, y'all sitting there going back and forth about how, like, calling him a snitch while she's sitting there snitching.
She's not snitching.
What is that?
She's reading an actual court document.
Shit that we're not privy to.
It's a public court document.
We don't know that, though, Vlad. We watch Vlad. We wouldn't know.
I went and got that document off a court website.
But the fact that, like, this is all I'm saying. The form, we know what we do. We know the business we're in. Mm-hmm. Like, we are providing information to the public, which can, in some ways, information that they're not privy to. How, even though it may be public, no, ain't nobody going to the law offices. When I see it on Vlad, I'm like, oh shit, or when they're talking about R. Kelly, whatever it is, when the media puts it out.
On Vlad TV, it's accurate. We don't fake news it out. We're not InfoWars.
She's sitting there snitching on the father of her child, talking shit.
Yes, she's definitely doing that.
But y'all talking about this man. Well, where's the sense in that?
What's interesting about his case is that although he ordered someone to do a shooting on camera.
Right.
And he is in all these photos and videos of him committing crimes with these people. Some of these were over beefs that he started himself.
Right.
He is now in a position to potentially tell on everybody and walk away without any prosecution himself.
First of all, it's all dumb. Let's just start there. It's dumb. Who's the real gangster in all of this? We know Daniel's not. If anybody at any point thought the dude with the rainbow hair who was cripping a couple of months ago, who is now a blood, they was full on, he was a crip at one point, and then he calls himself a troll. That ain't gangster. Ain't none of that. That's never the code that we grew up on. Like you said, this is a war zone.
Yeah.
People lose lives over this shit that dude that Tekashi was playing around with. So when you move like that, at no point, we knew he was going, we knew the Fat Joe told we knew he was going to get jammed up. And we knew he was going to sing when he got in there. He was going to get his canary all the way up. So I'm not surprised by any of that. To me, what's surprising, again, the enablers around you. How did we allow this to happen? Ain't none of this
Well, I mean, Sarah kind of broke it down. I said, where did the whole blood thing come around? Before then, has he ever claimed blood or gangs or anything else like that?
No, he was cool with some Crip dudes, but not that he was claiming it. That's one thing. He was never really gangbanging before he met the people he met. He wasn't really selling no drugs. He wasn't, that's just not what he was doing.
Okay. So how did you feel when out of the blue, suddenly he's got red rags and he's saying blood and he's waving it around and everything else like that?
It made me question. I had to ask him, I'm like, yo, you blood? Is this what you doing now? I just want to know out of curiosity, because he was going so hard with it. But he told me he wasn't, and I guess it was just for fashion, I guess. These are the dudes that he's rolling with. They're holding him down. So I guess he's representing. I don't know. That's how I saw it.
And you talk to people like Trey D, and he was like,
I don't know who put Soulja Boy on. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who put Chris Brown on. You know, no disrespect to either one of them. I'm just saying, I don't know. And that's not my business. I'm not a blood.
Who was co-signing
That's what
this?
I'm saying. I grew up in a neighborhood, I didn't want to get involved. Even where I got my ass beat, I got shot at for just living in the projects with these people.
You got shot at?
All the time.
Multiple times you got shot at. You never got hit?
Nah, of course not. But because where we lived at, I lived in what they call the dip. We lived in the Bay Vista projects, and then interestingly enough, I grew up in an area where the Lincoln Park Blood gang, but then I went to high school, and that was closer to another blood set, and even because San Diego is majority Bloods, and that created confrontation because where the guys I grew up with, I didn't go to school with, and then it was like, oh, so where you really from? You know what I mean? Oh, you over? You wasn't saying you was from Southeast when you was in class. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't want to be from none of this. I want to entertain. I want to rap. You know,
go to school here.
Yeah, so even when we talk about, oh yeah, I heard your pops is such. Oh, I heard my cut. That type of stuff can get you killed. Just who you associated with. You know what I'm saying? It's still, that lifestyle is not sweet. It's not smart. It's not intelligent. And that's why I never want to glorify, because we all went to school together. We all grew up in the same block that none of us have real financial investment in. We are all renters. But we dying over this stuff because I lived over here, you lived over here. I shot at you, I hit you, you hit me, now you got hit. stupidity. And then we glorify it based on, then we see how stupid it is when someone who's not from it, we allow them to play with it. Because ultimately, we're killing each other for what?
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah,
not no money, not no real money. We killing each other for thousands.
I interviewed Mob James.
Right.
Did you see that interview?
Yes. Yeah.
Very, very powerful.
Powerful.
Yeah. People have said it's their favorite. More people have said that's their favorite Vlad TV interview.
Powerful. Because that's a real gangster who's hurt.
Yeah.
By his family.
His own brother was killed by another fellow blood.
All of these guys up under
10 or 11 Pyrus were killed associating with death row.
Yeah.
By other members?
By the same members that's in death row.
Wow.
Death row was fighting. The homies is clashing at each other like this now.
Because they were fighting over money.
Over the shit that Suge was saying and doing. Yeah. They say not just the money now. It's, okay, you fucking with my homie. This is my dog. And now everybody is fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? And when I tried to tell them that this shit is coming, nobody wanted to listen to me.
Why? I'm like, that's to me, Suge is my dude. And we have conversations and I want to ask him that, like, how does
you're not gonna ask him over the phone.
I mean, but even like that's the thing. Like, Suge is the most open book. He has no problem saying anything. But those are the real questions. Like, even how does that sit with him at night? You know what I mean? When you ask those questions, like, think about all of the lives that were lost senselessly because not even chasing a real bag.
Nope.
Not a real, like, there's real bags out here. Like, especially even now, like cats getting millions. Like back then, like Pac died broke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
With a bunch of leased cars.
Yeah, we wasn't even we get into the real money now, like, and nobody gotta die. We can build our communities up now. Like, it's a real shift going on. Like, if a couple cats, if we come together, we can rebuild the hood and nobody has to kill anybody anymore. There's enough money to go around right now. I guarantee you that we could feed all of our hoods where we can establish businesses on every block and we can all be legitimate. We don't have to sell drugs to each other anymore.
Yeah.
Like, we don't. If you out there with a gun selling drugs, it's because you want to right now. And because it's been glorified.
And today with all the cameras and DNA evidence and cell phone.
You're dumb if you're doing
cell phone
that.
locations and everything. You're going to get caught.
And get put into modern day slavery.
Yeah.
You want to be a slave.
Exactly. But, back to Tekashi.
He wanted to be a slave.
I mean, he's telling on everyone. And Sarah says something interesting.
As he should.
Because he's presenting himself as a victim with all these older guys manipulating him. But she's saying.
Like, really, I kind of feel really sad. Because I feel like, in a way, these grown men were manipulated by this little rainbow head kid. They was manipulated by money. They was manipulated by a lifestyle that they were now a part of just by being with him. It's just, like you said, money and fame will make people do a lot of things.
Okay, so I got a question. Is this the same baby mom that the other cats from his squad was messing with too?
I think after the interview came out, you see someone from his crew
messing with her, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, if I'm Tekashi, right, and this is my baby mama. I have a child with this woman.
Yes.
She out there talking.
Yeah.
Messing with cats. There's allegedly, and then it wasn't there at this point where they were saying, like, the feds came to him and said, like, we gonna take you in because we got tape of your guy saying that they want to take you out or something
like that.
Something like that. Like, we got to handle him. We whatever the language was.
Violate him.
Yeah, we're gonna violate him. They got that on tape. If I'm Daniel, and the dudes, I only known these dudes a couple years, right? My child's mother is wilding. Y'all trying to hit me where it hurts. You're threatening to kill me. I'm not from the street. I don't know street code. I just learned it from you guys.
Right.
I'm not going to tell on you you're trying to kill me and you fucking my baby mama. What is he supposed to do? He's not a gangster.
Yeah, man, this is where the maturity comes from, because I have people around me that'll go beat someone up for me. You know what I mean? That'll go shoot someone for me and everything else like that.
It doesn't cost a lot to get somebody
I've had people call me like, "Oh, yo, I see you got a problem with so-and-so. You want me to go?"
And then they
want to show. I don't want you to do that shit.
They want to show loyalty.
Why are you even calling me about this shit?
Get off my phone.
Who's this?
My phone's tapped. Don't call me with no bullshit. They listening.
Yeah, man, this is where the maturity comes in, and you having these dudes around you do all this bullshit on your behalf.
They did it though.
They did it. And here's the outcome that could be predicted by a blind man.
Yeah, but I'm supposed to have empathy for the dudes who did. Why'd you do it? And you were about to kill.
Well, I have more of a problem with the legal system, because at the end of the day, and I brought up this comparison before. If I go and sell you a kilo of cocaine, and then I call the police to report you buying a kilo of cocaine from me, and you go to prison for that, and I walk away.
That's Donnie Brasco.
How? But unless I'm already working for the police, and there's a theory that Tekashi may have been
the feds the whole time.
May have been the feds the whole time.
How you sell all of them records so quick? Tekashi was the feds
but the
whole
fact
time.
that I would walk away from selling you a kilo of cocaine by telling on you, and I'm the actual plug, is mind blowing to me.
How brilliant would it be if Tekashi 6ix9ine was really the police the whole time?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It'd be Donnie Brasco for the day.
That'd
be amazing if but think about it. He went in, infiltrated, sold hella records, hella quick. Like, what if the tats, all of that was fake, and come out Daniel was the police the whole time?
Yeah, listen, people think I'm the police.
They definitely think
I'm the police.
They definitely think
and I can clearly say I'm not the police.
They think, because your platform, you got people that will say anything to you, sometimes to incriminate themselves because they're doing it for the clout. Like, this is the thing. This is definitely the generation of the clout chasers, and you provide a perfect platform for clout chasers. By people sitting here talking with DJ Vlad, they get so much street credibility. Mm-hmm. I know so many real gangsters that be like, man, yo, Vlad, the streets pay attention, and people get respect either from giving their real lives, because you sat with some real guys who are really trying to give cautionary tales of like, yo, don't do what I did. Everybody that I never seen any OGs that you talk to glorify the shit they went.
Ever. And I've sat with Big U, with Freeway Ricky Ross,
everybody,
Boston George, with Lil D, like
and they're
the
all
list
saying
goes,
like the shit
Pee-wee
we did.
Kirkland, like it goes on. I've had the most actual OG gangster interviews,
and they're trying to say, don't do what I did.
Yeah, and we focus on that part.
Right.
We never ever glorify.
Right. And then you also interview some of these young cats who want to sit up with stacks of money and talk about what they doing. Right, I get it, but it's all clout chasing. Even some of the OGs are like, yo, I'm trying to get my voice out here. I've been in a box. I have to make right with my morals in society now, so I need to say I was wrong, so therefore maybe I can prevent the next generation from doing the stuff that I did. So at the end of the day, we're sitting here talking to you because either we're trying to reach the next generation or we're trying to clout chase. Like, there's no other two reasons to sit and talk with DJ Vlad. I mean, obviously the rapport and the relationships, but this is the media. So when we sit here, there's a likely chance that we're going to say something that we're going to incriminate ourselves on. Think about, like, how many times just from our interviews that I've had to deal with legal issues from just something I believe in, something that I said, something I heard.
At least one that I know of.
Yeah, I can say it's 3.
Really? Okay.
But one was really serious, but the other ones were more like,
whatever.
Yeah.
One I had to deal with myself.
Yeah, but that's
right along with you.
Yeah, so
I had to do all the fixing.
Right. So, but it's like when people, and even their street stuff as well, and it's just like, man, we just sitting here having a conversation, but the platform is so massive that even Malcolm X said it best. Like, you got to be careful with the media. It's the most powerful thing in the world because it'll make your enemies look like your saviors and your saviors look like your enemies.
Yeah. Do you think that Tekashi, once he gets out, will become a big rap star again, or do you think that the snitching tag is gonna fuck him up?
He's an entertainer. He will continue to be an entertainer.
So he's gonna,
or the #1 agent in the FBI.
Right. I guess he won't be able to do the street stuff anymore, but
he can live in Amsterdam. He can go.
I don't think he'll have to go to Amsterdam. He'll stay right here in America.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, he can go anywhere. Like, he's first of all, he can't. Who gonna touch him? He's the feds. Like, he is now cooperating with the police. Like,
I think someone might touch him. If given the opportunity, without security, I think someone might touch him.
But where? But that's what I'm saying. Like, even if, first of all, he doesn't even have to be in America. He could choose.
People get
he's
touched. He's
Latino.
Man. People get touched. Did you see that YBN Almighty J situation where he got his face slashed, 300 stitches?
But was it before that? Wasn't he just fighting in the streets?
Yeah.
Like, he was walking through the streets with jewelry. Didn't he just beat somebody up? Like, they jumped somebody up. Like, I'm saying, if Tekashi...
I just don't put anything beyond anybody. John F. Kennedy was killed.
Yeah, but the government killed him. Like, it was...
The government, the mafia, we don't really know.
Right. Yeah.
We don't really know. John F. Kennedy got killed, and YBN Almighty J, he was down with rap a lot. He was with the boogeyman of hip-hop, Jay Prince.
Yeah.
He had a rap a lot chain on at the time.
The kids don't care about
that. Them motherfuckers don't care about that shit. They don't know. Yeah. They're in New York. They don't care about some dude in Texas who's running shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And then when Jay Prince put out that whole statement, that made it even worse.
Yeah.
Because I remember he put in my son's name, and he's like, my son was like, why you put my name into some sort of criminal fucking activity? I'm not trying to be involved in any of this shit. Like, the fuck?
That's the thing, man. Like, even this age of social media, this age has fucked the game up. Like, even gangsters are moving different. Like,
that's what I'm saying. And Jay Prince is a real OG.
Right.
This was a feared man.
Right.
And I was like, I didn't understand why he was doing that social media shit. Like, it just didn't make sense to me.
Gangsters move in silence.
Yeah. The leader of the Black Disciples, a guy named Big Law, was murdered in February. He was so below the radar that the newspaper, the Chicago Sun-Times, did not have a photo of him.
Wow.
I had to really dig deep.
Wow.
And talk to, some of my BD homies.
Right.
I located one photo of him at some public event, and I had to run that photo by a bunch of the BDs that I knew, and had them say, yeah, that's actually him.
Wow.
He did not have any social media. He did not have any public photos. He's not posing with the rappers or the whoever. I found one somewhat fuzzy photo of this guy. And this was the leader of one of the biggest gangs.
Right.
And oldest gangs in Chicago.
Right.
This is, and I remember T.K. Kirkland talked about how he's like, back in his day.
So here's the thing with these young kids. I came up with a lot of hustlers. And when you was out in the 80s and 90s, and you took their picture, they saw the camera coming up, they walked away. If you got a picture of them, they will follow you and say, yo, can I have that camera back? I can't have my picture taken.
Nah, that's real. Like, the media, man, this idea of clout chasing and notoriety, especially for our community, man, it goes all the way back of wanting to be understood and accepted into a society that never accepted you in the first place. So then when you get the opportunity to say, not only am I a man, but I'm a big man, I'm a bad man, I'm like, then it's like, oh, I'm glorified, I have this.
Oh yeah.
And that's it. Social media has done that in a way that it's too much.
Yeah, no, I remember speaking to this one when I was doing American Gangster for BET on the Mac Dre episode.
Yeah.
And I was talking to the detectives that were involved in investigating his murder. And we were talking about face tattoos and teardrops.
Teardrops, yeah.
Tattoo teardrops, which are supposed to mean that you kill somebody.
Yeah.
One of the guys, one of the head detectives said, said 90% of these guys with teardrop tattoos didn't kill shit.
Right.
They're there for intimidation.
Yeah.
You know, they go in and tattoo, and now everyone's scared of them.
Yeah.
You know, so mission accomplished.
Right.
But he said, look, I investigate these guys.
Yeah.
I know their lives inside and out. I've been
Right.
investigating for decades.
Right.
These guys didn't kill shit.
Right.
But they all have the teardrops to try to scare people.
Yeah.
Same type of thing. You do a Vlad TV interview, now
you talk about it, and you like,
yeah, man. I mean, let me tell you, me and Lil D talk all the time. He was so happy about his interview.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then there's a fucking rumor that he got killed.
Right.
Right? You know, and it's like, it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, it raises the whole status.
And that's the thing, man, like having these conversations, especially if you're not solid or you not good with wherever you are, it can look like snitching. It could look like talking too much. It could look like, unless you certified or you can speak on the issue that you're talking about. And that's why the majority of the people that I see on your platform, solid, certified, like those are dudes that I can say whatever the hell I want to say.
Right.
You're not gonna question Mob James. You're not gonna question Trady. You're not gonna question Lord Jamar. Just like even just based off of they speaking from now. You do a Soulja Boy, but in as entertaining as that is, he's still speaking his truth.
Yeah, I mean, he really shot somebody.
Yeah, like
I interviewed the guy who got shot by him.
Right. Like it may not be as dramatic.
I hop out, I start shooting. Bow, 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 bow. Shot the nigga. Bow, shot his ass. Bow, 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 bow. All the niggas run out the door. They run out the door.
I may not all of that.
No, but he said Soulja Boy shot me. Okay. So you get into the conversation with Soulja Boy, and he tells you y'all ain't getting nothing.
Yeah, basically. And that pissed me off for him to be able to even tell me that to my face.
Okay. So when he told you that, what happened next?
I slapped him.
Okay. Open hand?
Open hand.
All right. So then what happened?
After I slapped him, he reached for his pistol and started he just started letting all his shots off. I got hit 5 times out those 16.
That part wasn't in the original Soulja Boy story.
Right.
And who knows what really happened.
But, yeah, but in that sense of like, we get in front of the media, man, and we're searching for something. And ultimately it's like that says so much about society, man, and really as me personally, I'm looking to be enlightened. You know what I mean? I like we all sit back and we wonder what are we here for? What are we doing? And it's like it's unfortunate that you can reach levels of success because people always talking like, oh man, you got money, so of course you be like money don't mean nothing. Like I understand that concept, but once you get to the point where you get like I've received, even that's why I search for my education. Like I want to get as much knowledge and information as possible because like, yo, at least I see that benefiting me in my life. I see working out benefits me in my life. Hustling for fake money, it doesn't help me. Like that only creates problems. Like I used to think how stupid the more money, more problems sounded when I didn't have any money. Until you really get it, like, yo.
So you have more money and you have more problems.
You have more problems. Like it's. I remember when like paying my cell phone bill was like my biggest problem, and I was like, damn, I don't want my phone to get cut off. Like I wish it was that easy again.
No, I tell people all the time, like in my private life, the story about how your nanny sued you because your 2-year-old headbutted them.
Yeah.
To me, that is the absolute perfect analogy of what happens when you have money.
Yeah, it's like
because if you were working at GM, your babysitter would not be suing you.
So like
sue me for baby.
What? Like, but I gotta go talk to lawyers and talk about. Well, I don't think he intentionally headbutt the nanny.
We're gonna put that baby on the stand.
Yeah, like
keep that baby in the chair that's crawling out.
Yeah, like
baby's in contempt.
The most ridiculous.
Arrest that baby.
Yeah,
the whole thing is stupid, man. And you know, that's why people with money don't fuck with a lot of people.
And that's like, and even as
look at all the shit that Mariah's gone through, man, with her ex-employees and all that. That shit sickens my family. Her family. All right, her sister.
Not even beyond like so like that's. I think that's where we connected a lot as well too, because it's hard once you start to understand were people that you grew up in the same household with.
Yeah.
People that you thought was gonna ride with you for life turn to the media?
I know people that don't fuck with their twin sisters.
Like,
they're identical twin sisters.
the person that look just like you.
Look just like
split
you.
the chromosome.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't fuck with her.
Like, that's crazy. This the person I shared the bed with.
Yeah.
But because clout. Because it ain't even about the money no more. Because I can give you the bag.
Right. Well,
it's about attention.
Well, Mariah's sister has HIV positive.
You know,
right?
I've never met a sister. I tried to stay away out of the story.
You've heard these stories.
But I've heard the story. Like,
yeah.
I stay out of it because it was never like, I was there for her. I was her support system. So whatever she wanted to talk about.
If the family's not around, you don't.
Like I don't even like, because I'm there for her. Like, we squad. Like, I don't, if we ain't talking to sister, we ain't talking to sister. We ain't talking to brother, I'm with you. Whatever you tell me to do, because I would expect the same thing. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, Mariah would never speak on my family if like that was the union in the bond. So, but from what I've heard, you know, from what the public knows, I've heard those stories as well. But even that same sense, like I've seen where like her siblings do interviews about her. Like we've seen the interviews. Like, you imagine this is I looked up to you. I wanted to be you, and now you talking shit about me to somebody that don't know me for the rest of the world. Like, that's heartbreaking, man. Like, to know like. It's attention. We are chasing attention. And that goes back to be like, we're not comfortable with who we are as people because we feel incomplete and we feel like there's something out there that could feed us into. And it goes, I think like, it's like a saying where they was like, you know, to really be enlightened, it makes you become more of an introvert. And it's like, you know, before you're enlightened, chop wood, carry water. You know, once you get enlightened, chop wood, carry water. It's just like life is gonna be what it's gonna be. But at that ultimately understanding of who we are, it's like people gonna disappoint you. Humanity's gonna disappoint you. You're always gonna get let down. Your family, your friends, no matter how much money you got, no matter how much success you've achieved, it still hurts the same.
Well, I mean, when you see successful people, when you see who they're surrounded by, it's not necessarily other financially successful people, but it's people who bring something to their lives in terms of positivity,
right?
You know, in terms of you know, learning and understanding. Like, you know, you and I don't just only have rich friends, you know, but the people, you know, that we do have
are well off in
life, and we learn from them. But once you get to a certain level, you just can't hang out with some of your bummy friends who you grew up with.
Unless you're trying to elevate. See, I don't agree with that.
But
if I'm the light, I gotta bring everybody with me.
Yeah, man, I've tried that. And
you gotta be the light. They're gonna let that. It goes back to what I just said. They're going to let you down.
Yeah,
they're gonna disappoint you. Family is gonna disappoint you.
They're gonna ask you for shit, but they have no business asking.
If we're truly trying to be the enlightened ones, if we're really trying to be the ones that are elevated and fly on the highest frequency, we gotta bring them up. We can't let the bottom feeders just be bottom feeders and low frequency riders. Like, we gotta actually say, I've been blessed, so I can be a blessing. Now, do I let them taint me? Do I let them bring me down to their level? No, but it's still my goal to bring them as elevate them as far as I could possibly elevate them. Now, if they don't want to come, it goes back to even what I was saying with the women. Like, if you don't want to come, if I'm giving you everything, this is the thing. Like, I've been a part of women's lives that I've given them every book that I read, things that have like changed me. I've soaked them with game, money, whatever. Like, yo, you're brilliant. All you need to do is this, and this. I believe in you. Da, da, da. And in one ear and out the other. I've signed rappers.
Right.
And here's the check, the bag. Ruin it. Blame me. Like, I gave them.
But think about it though, right? You got to where you got, not because of this tight union with all the people you grew up with. You had people like Will Smith that said, hey, I see some potential in you.
Right.
Let me put my arm around you.
Right, facts.
And put you with certain people and so forth.
Let me show you the game.
Let me show you the game. If you had been just around your neighborhood friends, you would not be the Nick Cannon that we're speaking to right now.
Facts.
It just is what it is.
But I think you just made my point for me though. Yeah. Like, someone like Will Smith had to, if he didn't bring me up, then I wouldn't be able to bring others up.
Yeah.
Like I gotta pay that back. What he did for me, I gotta do for as many people as possible.
Yeah.
If I could say, oh well, nah, I'm not gonna go back to my block. Like I'm not gonna help the next kid out because.
So you still go back to your block?
Yeah, I'm in my community every week.
You've never had any problems?
Nah, I mean like my dad ran my nonprofit from down there, like right next to the four corners of death, or what we call it.
You never had any haters, any sort of violence?
The day I brought my first Rolls Royce, I pulled it up on 4-5 Park in the middle of Southeast. It was parked right there every single day, no problems, because I'm solid in my hood. Like I'm good. Like I give back. I build. Pay people, like people's rent, mortgages. Like I'm good. Like, but that's everywhere I go. Like I go to the prison systems
all it takes is that one person who feels like they didn't get as much as everyone else.
But I've had the confrontations. I've had the.
Okay, so you've had these situations.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But
okay, I just didn't want you painted as like, oh, I'm always good.
No,
everyone
but I mean,
loves me, and no one.
I never said everybody loves me.
Right.
But like but that's we move how we move. Like you see what we got outside. Like it's not like but it's not an intimidating thing or to evoke fear from either side. But it's like we legitimately. I'm not one of those guys like, oh, I made it. I go to every community. Like we was in Sac yesterday. I go to Richmond. I go to Southeast. I go to Compton. I go to I'm in prison systems every week. It ain't like I'm not scared of nothing. And that I think real solid cats recognize that. And then the knuckleheads that don't, they still gotta report to some real solid cats. So when you move in circles and it's good intentions, like people know that I'm for the community. And even because I studied Pac and he talked about that, and ultimately, when you start moving in a way that you're not for the community, you become victim of the community. But he was always like, man, I be trying to rock with dudes and I'm trying to help them and they hate me. But it's like, if you offer that, they're gonna approach you. The negativity is coming, but you gotta know how to switch that on his head. And I've had cats pull out on me. I had cats talk
guys
crazy.
Pull out guns on you.
Absolutely.
After you got famous.
3 months ago.
3 months ago, you had a gun pulled on you.
100%.
In
LA.
In LA.
Yeah, but some cat, and it wasn't. It was they didn't know. Once we got to the bottom of it, and it was like.
But you have armed security.
Yeah, so we everybody pull out. But it's one of those things where.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's not about who's tougher and all that. It's like, yo, let's get to the bottom. Like, what's really going on? Like, because that's the thing. Even out in LA, it's such a strong code out here. You know how, and if somebody's not abiding by the code or where they're from and all of these things, like you move differently. Like we were shooting a movie, in a hood, you know what I mean? And we thought we checked in and security talked to this person and talked to this person. And it took me having to go over to the dudes and be like, look, I notice y'all hood. We talked to this person, now those dudes today, them dudes have been to the Wild 'N Out shows, them my guys. But when it started, like, nigga, you ain't from around here. And matter of fact, we heard you affiliated with some cats that really ain't from around here. And like, oh, well, all right, well, let's get to the bottom of this and really fix, because we not trying to disrespect your hood.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was real. Like, it's about to go down. Like, they jumped out with them out. Like, it wasn't like, it was like, we looking for da-da-da-da-da, and it's their neighborhood. So you got to deal with that. In the same sense, like, even when we were shooting Chirac, like, we was, and the craziest thing, we were shooting Chirac, right? And this is in the middle of the street. We in the middle of Inglewood in Chicago, and we trying to do a scene outside. It's right over there is a porch where it's like 15 dudes. The camera's shooting this way, and they not feeling that we on their block. And I'm like, y'all talk to them? Like, did anybody, do they know? Like, and it's like, no, nobody wants to go over there and say anything. I was like, you got these giant security, you got police over down the block. Like, somebody should go, He's like, well, we don't want, this is their, we can't tell them to move off of their own. But I was like, and Spike was like, I just got to get the shot. I was like, man, I'll go over there. And they're like, no, Nick, don't. Yeah. Like, walk right up to 15 dudes like, look, what's up, y'all? Like, and see, like, what you always got to do, you tap into the sincerity and the respect of the moment. And I just start talking to the OG. Look, I know this your block. I don't know if these dudes talk to you or whatever. We just trying to do this. We trying to get it. By the end of the day, they security for us. You know what I'm saying? They just want the respect. I done took pictures with their babies. I'm eating chicken in the mom's crib. You know what I mean? Like, but if you operate out of fear, they gonna sense that. If you operate like, look, this is what we trying to do. Like, what we need to do to make this right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and somebody who's solid respects somebody else who's solid. If you move like you solid, you ain't never had no problems no matter what hood you go to.
Yeah, although things could have gone very badly with the guns being pulled and so forth.
They didn't, but that's if you move shaky, it's gonna go bad. Yeah. If I was a hothead, you got guns, we got guns. There's no need to do all of that. But if I'm like, look, we don't want this to end in violence.
Yeah.
We all want to go home at night to our family. Let's talk this out.
There you go. Nick Cannon. Always a pleasure, man.
Oh, boy, we probably
go.
I wonder what's going to come out of this one. Hopefully no lawsuits.
Hopefully no lawsuits.
Yeah, exactly. We did good.
But I'm sure.
I'm either going to get a date with Oprah or she's going to come after me.
That's what it is. Until next time.
Till next time.
Peace.
Yeah.